Well, welcome back. We got ourselves some Valorant action. This time we're against the Outlaw Cowboys. Yeehaw! You're not going to get sick of those at all throughout this cast. Gizmo, tell us a little bit about these Cowboys.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an interesting game. The ranks, like we always start with just talking about the ranks because our team quite highly ranked in this tournament. We're looking at we're higher ranked than them, so it should be pretty good based off our mechanic side. I'm expecting them to play like I see a lot of their Jarvan. I see Zyra Khan played, so I'm expecting that to show up a lot in this. Obviously, we're not expecting massive meta picks because obviously it's an amateur tournament, not the highest of elos. So I'm expecting people to pick what they're comfortable with, and I'm expecting bands to go towards that.
Yeah, exactly that. And although you raised the point about ranks, it's often a good one to point to start with, just to give ourselves some expectations. Of course, against expectations, looking at ranks last week, Yar did drop a series against Team Chonk IRL. Almost slipped my mind there. So the Yard boys have had some practice in the week. I've had a look at some of their scrims, and we are looking a bit more colourful, a little bit more on colour, shall we say, for what we like to see from the Yard boys. So hopefully, against the Outlaw Cowboys today here on Blue, we can have a better day. So, of course, the bands are straight underway. The Kale, a weird meta we have developing, at least in our own field at the moment, been taken away for what, the third series in a row.
Yeah, I think Zephyr's been spamming that in solo queue, so it makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's been doing pretty well on it. Might as well get that out of the way. No one really wants to play against that champion. Hit level 16, unstoppable. So I get that out of the way. Zyra band, yeah, great bot lane. That takes one member out. I probably would have preferred the band going towards the Rakan side, but I think Mars is thinking he'd rather take that. So just get rid of the Zyra, lose the chance of that going through.
Yeah, of course, there's, I think, a fair amount of Rakan being played here by both supports as well. So, of course, Zion jumps up in priority as soon as you have Rakan players on the board. So, Zion being taken off is going to put Rakan maybe a lot further down in priority, at least a little less of potency. Oof.
Oh, respecting Harry just a little bit, that LeBlanc ban. We have seen him favour that in most games, so happy to see that gone. J4 ban, we've seen them spam. In solo queue, I'm pretty sure the one guy's got 9-10 games in a row of J4, so if you're going to spam that champ the day before a tournament, you know it's going to get banned. Little trick for anyone who does enter these tournaments. About 2 days before you start to enter the tournament, you want to play 10 games, because that's all Uppbeat.gg can see on the front page. And you just want to play 10 games of champs that you never want to play. Okay, and people fall for it. I've done it, and they banned out the wrong champ every time. It's brilliant. Seraphine ban, that's good flex. Harry plays it a lot in the mid lane, and I believe Mars plays it now and then as well, so pretty strong pick for them. Ooh, Xin Zhao ban, not once in a strong jungle.
I believe the Seraphine as well is something that Mr. Serial has played quite a bit of, looking at the OP.GGs as well. And of course, it's something that's quite flexible, and previous Yard versions have played a lot around the Seraphine picks. So, of course, it's been taken off the board, nice and simple to deal with. Aurelia Blind is a little curious. Now, I know some of those players are a bit more flexible in terms of their champion pools, so Aurelia here may be a flex.
Well, hovering the Fiora. Yeah, really interesting pick there. A good flex between mid and mid and top, not jungle. Everything's going to jungle, I'm sure, in a couple of patches it might do. He's jumping between them. It's going to be a Momo probably, or Camille.
Well, they have the second pick to follow up, so for now it's going to be the Amumu.
I wonder if it's going to be an MF.
Wonder no longer, of course, the Amumu MF just about instant lock.
The normal
rotation.
The normal counter I've seen to Amumu MF is Lucian Nami, so I wonder if they're going to pull that out today. It is a bit of a higher elo counter, but he's very good at countering it. Oh, just the Braum. Yeah, Braum counters engage. Does okay into this matchup, but obviously you're not going to be able to Braum unstoppable and a Mumu ult, so you will be able to get rid of the MF ult damage. Is pretty good here, but
yeah,
you know, Braum has to be at the front to be able to stop that damage, you know, and if his positioning is not right, not looking too great.
Yeah, you kind of put it into the Amumu's court, right? Because you assume the Braum to be at the front of the composition with the Unbreakable as well. He's going to be able to tank up a lot of that MF damage, especially the bullet time. So putting the Braum in front means that Amumu's going to have to get creative with getting into the backline. Of course, the Vayne's going to make that even a little bit more difficult with the content.
Yeah, the Vayne pick here, very interesting. You don't normally see this so early on. Yeah, into Amumu, you can knock him away, but he has two of those jumps, so you have to be in range of the hook to condemn him. Is that really what you want to be looking for here? They have the side of Yard don't have many tanks, and they've picked up the Fiora on the top side. Do you want to know an interesting fact about top lane
I
tanks?
love interesting fact. Hit me with it.
In Challenger, there's only 5% of the top laners that play tanks in the top lane. 5% across all games. Only 5% in the last month of tanks. Crazy.
I assume there's a reason for this. Is it going to be something to do about true damage?
Just everyone just plays bruisers. It's bruisers meta, except from one player who just loves to play the Scion. And if you know who that is, you know that
I think we know who that is.
that's it's the only stream really that I feel like I have to go see. So yeah, Oriana ban. Harry did
Yeah,
play that
makes
last
sense.
time. It does work really well with the Amumu. Obviously drafting
Big
towards this
Jumper
combo.
is also a Oriana player as well.
Yeah, but they wouldn't ban it out themselves if they weren't scared of it, you know.
True.
Yes or Ari. I honestly I don't know if they do play that. I haven't checked. So I suppose they ban out the Yasuo here. Not really much to combo with him to be able to get that knockup other than the Brawl ult. So a bit of a surprising pick there. Ari has been rising in pick priority, and does always do better at lower elos because of the ability that it's such a skill shot based champion that people in this elo don't really dodge skill shots very well. No flame, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's easier to punish people that aren't moving in the ways that they should. And of course, if they're not hugging their minion wave, the charms are a lot easier to land.
Yeah, I call it people who don't have hands, but you know, either way. Sorry, that was a harsh joke. I'm sorry.
I got them right here, man.
Oh, please pick the Annie, please. No. Okay, Harry Zakali is brilliant, right? But they've drafted the Amumu MF. He takes the Annie. I'm pretty sure I told him that you need to draft for this comp, right? If you take the Annie with the Amumu MF, that stun combo, nuts. Okay, honestly, they can't. Why are they hovering a Vex? They can't take it, right?
Yeah, they're just teasing that one. Of course, if they lock it in, it will be a bit of a dodge. And I assume a penalty. So of course, it's going to be the
Find them.
instead. For anyone looking for the
Gragas.
information on that one, of course, any new champion that comes out, you have to wait to the patch afterwards because, of course, they could either be broken or bugged or both.
And in this
so,
case, all three.
all of the above, including all of the above.
Yeah, a completely balanced champion. I love playing against it in my solo queue games.
I've only played it in Earth, and I'm still not sure what it does. It's probably the laziest release I've been through at the moment.
Ooh, I mean, Gragas jungle and then a Vega mid. That's not really high meta picks. I know we were talking about how this isn't the highest standard so people play comfort, but Vega being a bit of an interesting one. Heavy scaling, but can be quite squishy. They're gonna pick the Diana here. Diana works will work well with their combo that they've drafted, the MF and Mumu. But do they want that much AP? Obviously, a Mumu AP, a Kali AP, and now Diana AP. You've got most people like to draft with a AP jungler and then an AD mid laner. So, slight problem, but both teams have done it here. So
yeah. Sort of mitigated here. Of course, Abimu does have some magic shred within his kit as well, so he's somewhat enabling Diana and Akali, assuming he can get that curse passive outlet. So the whole comps are locked in here. I will quickly talk about this Veigar because you say it's something that maybe you don't reach for, or maybe you don't like so much in this composition. But with 6 mid bans, arguably 6 mid bans out of the way, it does make a little sense that people are putting their hand further into the cookie jar to find answers. I suppose Veigar here with like the 3 to 4 dashes, people that want to be in melee range, the cage could come in quite handy.
Yeah, I mean they did those bans, right? They did 3 mid bans themselves. They just weren't happy with it, but yeah. Someone in chat said they just picked like solo queue. Yeah, it does seem like a very solo queue pick. Honestly, Veigar works very well at solo queue games. Works very well at getting these picks. You can prio on objectives just using the Veigar cage to get these choke points going. But at the same time, the other side they've got MF and Mumu. That's pretty massive if they find these. If you want to play the games in the choke points, I think MF and Mumu is really happy that you've gone. Hey, we'll match you in that situation. You know, a big thing to note is obviously Gragas jungle. A bit of a strange one. I haven't seen it in a while. I have played with an insane Gragas player, but I've heard that he's really not in the best of spots at the moment. So hopefully we get to see some really cool stuff. Obviously the flash body slam, pretty crazy. But at the same time, you know, I'm expecting him to go more tanky, and if he goes for the full damage build, it's a bit scary. I don't really know what he'll draft towards, what he'll build towards based off of the team comp, because obviously I'd personally rather see a tank Gragas here, but
Yeah.
it can go either way. The one perk of it is obviously if this MF ults, he can just throw his exploding
Yeah,
casket
that's what I'm thinking.
and cancel it. But if the MF just waits out the Gragas ulti, if he uses that wrong, it's just going to be game over, right? Same with the Braum Unbreakable. You've got to time these abilities right to be able to stop the biggest damage. But remember, you can't put up a Braum Unbreakable if you're stunned by an Amumu. So
Yeah.
there's a point we have to draw the line.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I don't necessarily hate the Outlaws comp. I think the issue, at least at a glance here, that I'm getting, is that it's kind of reactionary, right? You've got so much disengage in terms of the Vanguard, the Gragas with the Cask, and the Condemn, and of course the Braum with the Unbreakable. But there is just so many other threats you have to deal with that if one of those is spent or two of those is spent, it can't save you. And even in the case, sure, the Amumu gets in and ults before you're able to react. We're not playing with challenger players here. Sure, you'll be able to maybe anticipate that or react to that in time. There's no guarantee of that at this point or at this level. So, of course, if they finally engage first, the disengage often might just come too late.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have the Vayne. The Vayne can do a lot with these condemns, right? You got the Diana who's going to be diving in, and the Akai. So you can use those condemns pretty well. Obviously, the Amumu is the obvious one as well, yeah. But at the same time, like Vayne needs items to come online, and if you can't get those items, you're gonna be feeling like lacking that damage for quite a while. Obviously, Veigar wants to scale as well, but it's going to be a lot of pressure for these people to perform on those champions, and I will say their draft looks probably about 2 years old. That's not a problem with it. It's just that's just the way it is. I'm not saying Yar's draft is insane, but they've drafted at least 3 champs towards the same goal of the team fight, and then they got the Fiora for the split push. So both teams have perks.
Yeah, I just want to quickly check that the stream's live because I received a message from the coach saying that start the stream, homie. So if you can quickly check that transitioned.
I have. I'm pretty sure.
We are live.
Well, there's messages in chat saying that I'm biased, so I assume we're live. Yep, we are live.
Okay, perhaps he's checking the other channel. I shall inform the coach that he's looking in their own place. That's what we have these coaches here for, of course.
Hey, they're coaching the league. They're not coaching their ability on getting stuff up properly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay, let me just get the.
Alrighty, so as we transition ourselves here onto the Rift, can take a look at the sonar spells and whatever. It seems we are hovering in the grey. So I'll remind you that we are looking at game 1 for week 4 of the Valence League with Yarp here on the red side. And the Outlaw Cowboys, yeehaw, you will be sick of it by the end of today, I promise you that, on the blue.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few interesting things to note. Obviously the Gragas going Predator. Predator has recently had a buff. It is pretty strong. I've played against a Predator Thrush and it was crazy. The other thing to note is obviously Braum going for the Guardian makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
The exhaust a bit odd. Because if the MF is ulted, you won't be able to get in range to it. So I guess it's more of a late game insurance into the Diana, a Kali.
Yeah, the Akali. Yeah.
Looks like they're just stacking in a bush. Just really not. I mean, they've got a ward on top side, so they at least understand this invade that's happening. But yeah, I mean, you'd expect normally a 5-point, but Fnatic Death Bush is completely fine at this point. Both teams get a little bit of information.
Well, with the classic fabled Braum level 1, and of course a Vayne that can proc that one nice and easy. Should there have been an invade there, Cowboys would definitely have won out on that. So I don't hate the bait sat there in the further reach of the red bush. Just seeing if Yar walk into their trap. Of course, they're going to spot them out for a counter invade on top side, and an exchange of vision here, but it's coming out in favor of Yar at the moment. We'll have to see what they do with that knowledge. We'll keep our eyes on the junglers, of course. But standard starts.
Yeah, I mean, Fiora's just also a fake Lesion here, so if he doesn't show before bot lane shows, they could be could really make a mistake here. He's thinking about it. So they don't know where Yar started, which is a really good skill to have done.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they saw them top side, they might expect the red buff clear down to the bot side. So this Diana feeling pretty good. Probably be open to do quite a lot of early work here and surprise.
Yeah, we'll have to see what surprises do come through. For now, we'll be set quite quiet. Oh, Mars just tagged himself a minion as he's already dying. Going to get proper fights. The second Q here onto Milky Seer. Look to make a bit of breakfast here in the bot lane. As he's just come down onto the MF. Mars wiggling his way out of there with health pots ticking down. They are going to get stunned up here with the Braum press. The heal coming out just about max range. Flash to follow as well. It's the level 1 power of Braum showing up strong there.
Yeah, Mars just overcommitted there, just going for that extra Q. He already had 3 stacks on him. He needed to wait for those to disappear before he goes back in, but instantly gets stunned up, and then they're like, well, you can get away, but we'll go on your ADC, don't worry. You're too chunk to help. Bringing out those 2 summons very early, that could be an easy gank for Gragas to come down.
And of course, they get some priority and currently a level advantage. They might be able to push for a little something more here, but of course, they just tick over in time to the Yar's bot lane. Keep themselves afloat in this lane, keep their pods ticking, make sure they're not in too much threat. Guardian procced. A fine exchange there as well. Top lane, just classic swords or whatever happening. It's just kind of like the shite from the world showing. Great parry there, just about keeping in range, but of course, Gragas on his way in here is going to have to tango with the minions. Body slam not going to be able to find reach there onto Zypher. Down in the vicinity as well, there's assistance pings here and looking for the scuttle. Looks like Harry's walking up the river first as well. Nakan's going to get there and maybe find Gragas.
Director Cam's like, no, but...
Let's see what's going on here. Director Cam finally takes us into the reach. She's going to connect the Shuriken flip all the way over the wall. Going to wait to make sure it's all okay to go. Going to get the flash to follow and the attack. And the first blood, 400 gold for Akali.
Yeah, a great body slam to interrupt the Diana jump in, but the great run there from Harry, just being able to land that E, get dash straight back onto him. Just a free kill. I believe double buff's over to the Akali. That's going to be very useful in that lane going forward.
Yeah, it's huge, of course, and 400 gold into Akali to get it started off nice and early. It never hurts. Dark Seal stacks sat there nice at 2. We love to see it. Vigard's going to have to be particularly careful from now on, but of course that should probably be priority just about conceded to Akali throughout the mainstay of the game. And of course Gragas behind as well, missing out on maybe double grab. Oh no, he got the bomb side.
He didn't get the bomb side grab, did he? I believe
I'm not paying enough attention as really simply counterpicked, I guess. It's just the matchup.
I think Vayne and Braum walked up and took that themselves with the bot lane pressure they had, which is a great play if I believe that was what happened. Honestly, if you do that in solo queue, it tilts the enemy jungler so much, especially when they die like that. So, Gragas just missing out on that opportunity to get that scuttle crab.
Indeed, he is. He is finding some time on the chickens. We'll take a quick look at the farm on my end. So 2 camps behind, and of course Diana up and his sister as well. The map and the gold state doing pretty well here. Zypher maybe in a little bit of trouble with the health disadvantage. Does get the grass proc and a couple of vitals. Gets the riposte down as well, but it's just going to be a couple of vortex. Flash dashes away that from the something duet, something fancy. Oh, it really is. Spell names are fancy. I forget what W is called.
Well, we're going to see a great aggressive play.
Here we go. There's a little bit of aggressive play. As you say, the Unbreakable comes down, and the sun comes down here onto GMB.
Diana's fighting Gragas.
Going to be finding too much more. Ignite comes down here onto Vayne. Does get the in exchange. Andy are looking to get the last of it, but I think he's going to get it in time. He does put the last bullet in the face of Vayne, and he gets a double kill. Does Sterit pose?
One thing to note is look at this minion wave that's going to be crashing into tower. That is massive. If Braum can actually get it under, but the minion wave just comes in time, so he's going to have to be just under. But is Zephyr going to dive here?
Zephyr looking to dive. He has the grand challenge put down here in the riposte, but he's going to get tanked up with the base after there. He's just scuffed that one a little bit too hard to kill for a kill, I suppose. Going to recover the gold a bit is the Aurelia now. So Aurelia sort of out of the game, 2 levels down at that point. Zypher just failing the execution. He's handing that lane back here to Aurelia.
Amumu couldn't catch Amumu catches the wave at least, but the MF doesn't get it. Vayne loses a wave because of the way it was pushed in. That's a lot of gold lost, but yeah, Zephyr overcommitting slightly, but seeing a play in this mid lane anyway.
Yeah, putting the cage down in exchange for the shroud. Harry just going to make sure that all these waves are crashing into his delight. Vigar going to have to be using his mana on the wave rather than the Akali, which is what the Akali would like to see. Going to use that priority here, find themselves in the river. Maybe the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon's going to be... Looks like it's going to be started around here. I wonder if they're going to get vision beforehand. Mars can walk up... He has a ward, so he can go get that in the tri-bush. Maybe they attempt this soon. He is just baiting in this sideway and waiting for the Vayne to walk up instead. Gragas waiting low in the mid lane.
bit of tension here as a lot of the players are looking to make something happen either around or before this dragon. Harry looking to be the victim of something here as Gragas walks his way here into mid lane, but we'll have some time to think about it and build some of the tension as a pause comes through. I'm not too sure what the cause is. We'll keep an eye out in the chat for any information there, but let's take a quick state of the map. Okay, so hopefully only a couple seconds because the mid laner is lagging, is Jumbit. So whilst Jumbit sorts himself out, we can take a look at the mini map.
Yeah, I mean, whenever anyone misses a skill shot, you got to say like, no, I joke, but one thing to note is from that play on the top side where the Aurelia does get the kill, she did do a very something that's slightly its core is mechanical, right? Where the Fiora ults, if you just stand next to a wall, she can't get that other sweet spot. And she did it with the turret and the wall, so she couldn't get both of them, which just killed Zephyr. And then obviously he went for the parry when he didn't need to. But yeah, really well played by that Aurelia. I'm hoping to see some more plays like that coming out. As we see this Drake setup here, Gragas is going to be coming through this mid lane. They have three members positioned to the bot side, so maybe they want to force onto the Vayne and the Braum first before they go up, because otherwise they're going to get collapsed on here. But either way, you know, top lane is no TP, so they're not going to be getting involved here, and we're back into it. Kali's going to see the Gragas here, and we have the monetary pause after the pause because indie company, guys. Indie company. Well played. No, it's to keep it so that the timer stays in the right spot, so we're at the right delay, so it's fine. I wonder if we're going to see a play onto this Gragas. He is level down here, and Akali level 6 here, so pretty high in the damage, and if Akali takes a bad trade, she can always just TP back to contest the Drake after.
She could indeed with the TP advantage, as you say. We'll have to see how this one evolves, but there's the stake set up as the first Infernal Drake with members in the vicinity. Gragas is going to find he's lacking chickens, but he might also find a Diana here sat in the bush waiting for him. We're going to hold at the dash just to keep the Lunar Rush and Harry just about in range of the Shuriken Flip. That's a second time that Gragas is dying here to the Akali, making good use of that mid priority. Viger might be in a bit of threat now as Diana gets the respawn on the chickens. It seems no real priority here up on the Dragon's Zypher. Having some fun in the minions, teasing the Aurelia teasing back. No issues here.
Harry with the full Dark Seal stacks already, really shining through that he got that early. The first item with the Dark Seal really paying off for him at this point. And Diana really just out jungling this Gragas, right? Look at the farm difference, but she's going to be caught here. I believe there's a blast going to get out, but using it towards the bot side.
Finds a Braum in the bush instead, and not Diana hiding out there. The Moonfall comes in, but Vayne's going to have that one up for dinners, and that's a kill.
Mars is mispositioned.
Gragas, but there's a fight on the top side as well as the bot side as Mars. Going to get stuck here. No stakes available. He's going to get the flash and the ignite here onto Braum, but I don't think he's going to quite take down the time. The heal's not going to range. Just to Zandy are going to have to be running here as well. He might be able to make it rain just about in time, but Kadem is not enough damage either. Aurelia spies on the top side in the meantime, and that's quite a bit of action. Break that one down, because I got a little lost myself. Oh, it might not be the end. This is the play search and a great parry here onto Aurelia. If the fight was on the other side, that was a kill. You have to think for sure. Maybe just wait for the Conqueror to come back. Aurelia keeping it.
Not going for the dive after last time. Yeah, that bot lane play. Diana really choosing not to take the blast gun over to the Drake, thinking that they can force something to the bot side. Sometimes it's just better just to go over to the Drake and just walk around that way, because the collapse is possible, and you know that they knew that you were in that jungle. But yeah, then Mars just got caught up going to help him, and Xander is the unlucky one who's just in the middle of all of that, has to run away, burn the flash. But
yeah, well, Vayne looking like the one that has to run away at the moment. As the Banditosh here connects onto Vayne, but no damage here in the meantime. The Condemn is used though. That should be free. Pickers for down to come back in, and the second cast of Banditosh is pretty great, but the Crescent Surge is a little short here, and of course the Unbreakable plus the gun is just going to keep them afloat under this tower. There is an Akali on their 8, but it seems they're quite aware of that one. Mars just going to be threatening the packs here, but I don't know, it's not that threatening, is it? What am I chatting? But threatening though is this dragon.
Yeah, I think Diana was just trying to hit that Braum with the slight tip of that then, just to try and get the double. But yeah, in the end, if you go for 2 there, you end up getting none. You didn't have ulti. It's better just to take the attempt at the Vayne, because that shutdown is looking pretty good if I was the Diana. So yeah, but we'll see the Drake picked up here. This Akali just trying to get something to happen whilst this Veigar's locked in lane, but we're seeing a play here.
Veigar using the gauge here defensively again in exchange for the Shroud. Akali might be able to use it a little bit more than Veigar can. But as you say, it's just going to be continually pushing in this wave. Sat here with the Hextech core and the boots already. And here comes the ult and the perfect execution. The second cast of the ult still to come. He's going to whiff that one. A flash almost into the wall. Have to walk away here. The Baleful Strike going to be just about on mark here.
He rushed
the
it.
Flash exchange. Rushed it, as you say. I know they were looking at Doinby dives, going to tank a little bit extra here, and Gragas with the Predator. The body slam going to be dodged away from. Might even still be able to find the Vanguard, but the cask is going to get there just in time. A closer one there, Harry finding that exchange. Not to be in his favour.
Yeah, just going super aggressive there. If the ulti hit, he rushed the ulti. But
Slenny looking to find the better of it. His Vigo with no mana and no health is just going to fall there. Blue buff now here onto Slenny. He's going to find some minions as Mars finds a Braum. A bit of a supportal combat, sorry. In the mid lane. ADC combat in the bot lane as well. So
that damage
on the way things here, there's a TP in the bot lane as well. As soon as directed camera realizes we'll be here, and here's Harry looking to get that shutdown that you said was quite juicy. It's even bigger now that Zandia has died. Being able to pick that one up condemns Harry back as well. Might be able to find a little bit more. Mars will pick the ultimate, but that's enough to give Harry the kill all the same. That's 600 gold there for the Akali. And another kill.
Mars, you good, buddy? Yeah. Nice attempt. Bit scary, but yeah. Not great, but there's the MF's just stepping up a bit too far, taking that trade. Yes, the TP came through, but as soon as the TP comes through, the Vayne knows that she's going to die if she just stays there, so she has to force onto that MF. Gets that kill. Almost gets the Akali as well, but that great condemn into that wall. Really showing off on this Vayne pick.
Slenny looking for something here. Might hold it just in case something happens. The stun disconnects. Great bait, maybe, perhaps. Gets the vital proc and the ult here out of Irelia, but she's going to find herself in a 1v2. The Slenny found her way into the brush just before Zypher going to have to flash away all the same as Slenny's going to clean that one up nice and simple. Just a couple of crescent blades into the back of Irelia there.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that stun was definitely just letting her bait in, but surprisingly close on the back end there. I believe it was the Ninja Tabbies really stopping the Fiora from being able to do a lot of that damage that she's been doing to her the whole time. But Gragas gets to catch the wave afterwards, so it's not so bad. But you know, that's an extra kill onto this Diana, and she's been doing work so far to this game.
Work done indeed. Let's take a quick look at the scoreline here at 2-1 and 2 with the proto belt complete. A stopwatch ready in the inventory, so might be seeing a little bit more gung-ho in these plays. Some vision being cleared out here. So quick stock, let's take, shall we? 2k just shy advantage here, or 1.5k advantage here for Yar, and the kills tied 7-7. So that's mostly going to be the shutdowns and like the lane CS advantage we take across the board. So it's 10 in the top and 10 at least in mid, keeping Yar afloat with the lead here. Drake in their favor as well. Herald's on the board, and it seems Gragas has the better attention to that one at the meantime. Zypher's looking for a little more, but he is in amongst the creep wave, just going to get a couple of vital procs here. Slenny looking for something more than the vitality of the bot lane here. He's going to ult it straight onto Braum with the Unbreakable in first, but Zandia has yet to pop the bullet down. We'll have to see where that one comes down. Straight there onto Milky Zero. The Probar's going to pick that one up. Oh, and the Crescent Guard. Sorry to pick that one up on the backside. A double kill in the bot lane, and a riposte forces the flash out of Irelia here. Gragas coming up the river, the Predator as well. A great play in the bot lane by might be a little bit more. It's a great, not so great cask. Doesn't find its way in the right direction here. Zypher's going to dash to the other side of it.
They're going to go for the dive.
Trying to crash this wave. They're posturing for it. Zypher going to get that ward down.
They can't do it though.
Teased.
Yeah, they have to back off that. But yeah, that bot lane play, very good. Mars no ulti, so they were going in aggressive. Roma Unbreakable Shield went up straight away, but good, well played by Zanya just to hold the ulti waiting for it, and then at that point the Vayne ults and goes in, but the Akali comes down and goes, you can't walk up here, so she tries to run back in and give it to the MF instead, but Akali's got enough dashes to chase you wherever you go, so great play there.
Yeah, I have to think. Great run by Harry, again making sure that he's there at the play just in time. Gets himself a double kill, basically a steal as well, as Zypher's looking for a kill of his own again here onto
Gragas behind though.
Gragas is behind, as you say. No cask available, of course. Gets the body slam. Riposte comes down maybe a little early. Here's the blade surge. Straight here onto Zypher. Zypher going to be dodging around this one. No battles yet proc. Licking a little lower mana. Herald's a little distracted, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep them away from Zypher. Tanking up here from Gragas, but Harry here again. Yet again is Harry going to find himself his way onto Sternthus. Going to get the Shuriken flip, find his way onto Shelly. Going to not quite stop the charge. The tower looks like to be going down as well. Jump it in the vicinity as well. Going to get the ult here onto Dagger 27.
So 1v3.
He's not going to have enough mana to get this one. That's a 1v3, as you say. It's now a 1 versus 2. Harry looking for a little bit more. Just about connects the flip here, and that's not enough for Aurelia to keep herself alive with the flawless dance leader here. Going to pick this one up, turn it into an extended 3v2 in a sense, and Jumper just going to be caught up here in the cage. In his own cage is Jumper, and he's in his own grave to follow.
I mean, yeah, I wonder. Let's be fair. Yes, the Fiora was there at the start of it, but that was a 1v3 at heart, and Harry just showing up massive.
Oh, and we get a 2v2 in the bot lane as well, and here comes the combo. Zypher, sorry, it's a 3 versus 2. The whole team's here at any point, it seems, but, well, maybe it is a 2v2 Vayne. Absolutely deleting Zandy on there, and Milky's here on the left, alive to stand out in that one. I don't know what I was saying. That was a bit of a mix of 3 different sayings, but we'll roll with it. As, roll away with these towers and these kills.
Yeah, Zandy just not using flash or heal to get out of that. The Vayne just committing so much, just rolling in, and the Mythic just doing so much work to keep her alive in that situation. But great TP by Zephyr to be able to capitalize on it, as we've seen Gragas go aggressive here.
We'll have to see how much a Gold Drinker as well can do to keep Zypher alive, but maybe not so much if the barrel goes maybe a little wide. Jagger looking for something here. Milky's here in the vicinity as well. They haven't really got any members available. There is a TP perhaps from Jumper they're looking for here, but I don't think they're going to find anything onto a slippery Fiora. So yeah, second Drake picked up in the meantime by Slinny. Gonna put Yart 2 Drakes ahead. Looking to get the soul here. Gonna be a Cloud in this case. So maybe it's one of those scenarios where we let that one be and we bait for the third. Well, I was looking to bait for something here, but he hasn't really got teammates in the vicinity. Just get some vision.
Why is it whenever you stack for Drakes, it always ends up being Cloud, you know? Whenever you think, oh, I mean, we got a good gold lead, we're really far ahead, it never goes, you know what you need? You need an Infernal Dragon to close this game out faster. No, it goes, here, have a Cloud. Like, Cloud is good for their team comp, but at the end of the day, the only way back in is the Elder for the other team, so being an aggressive...
We'll have to see how this aggressive play goes as well. The cast going to disengage for now, but there's other members of the vicinity, and a Flash Moonfall not going to quite connect as the Condemn comes in, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of Yara are here. And Harry, even further in, is going to flash to follow here. Dagger again. He's just collecting Dagger every time he comes back on the bound. He's maybe looking to collect the Aurelia as well, as the dive looks to be the case. Maybe they're talking about it, they're thinking about it, and they thought better of it in the end. Harry just going to show can flip away from that one, but that's another pick onto Vayne and another pick onto Gragas for Yara.
Yeah, I mean, every time Cowboys go aggressive, Yar has an answer to it. That they got TPs, they got everything that's just answer it. And so far, Cowboys just don't really have a response. Yes, your Vayne's in a good position here, but it doesn't matter when they got so many assassins dashing and diving onto your backline, and it's so hard to play.
Yeah, maybe that comes back to composition. As you're saying, we've yet to have a full-on team fight, but we've had plenty of skirmishes to get a taste for what it will look like. And we described in the draft slide that we were concerned for the Cowboys comp about how the disengage might just not be enough, as we saw the movement all still connected despite the grass. We saw Diana still make an engage in an exciting play despite Condemn as well. So Cowboys maybe struggling with their picks a little here. We'll have to see how they utilize them later on, if they get later on.
Yeah, I mean, Harry's getting so confident he started to write a book. He's got 10 pages in it at the moment, and I wonder if it's going to get any further. Looking pretty good at this point. I wonder if Diana's going to make her own book soon as well, because I mean, at this point, there's no harm in at least going for it, you know? Get that snowball going.
Yeah, if you find yourself a spare 350 gold, which you might do with these kills that you're picking up, it wouldn't hurt just to get a couple of pages in your diary, just to see how far you can get into that story. I don't think it's going to be a long story if you've got too many stacks in it, though. So the gold lead is now stretched all the way up to 6, but they're looking to do something about it. So they find their way here into Zypher. He has the riposte available on the body slam. Just going to flash to make some space. He gets the riposte in time, but that enables the cast to get in there. But he's going to pop the grand challenge here onto Jumper. Jumper going to find the darkness in the bush and put the darkness into Fiora's screen as well.
Yeah, I mean, like Gragas cast comes down, very well played. Let the Fiora parry the E and then straight up follow it with the R. Maybe as a Fiora you think there's a way out of there. If not, maybe you wouldn't have used the flash, but it's unlucky from the Fiora, but really well played by the Gragas there to time that ulti so that the parry doesn't get rid of the both of them.
Yeah, sort of a game of chicken, but I felt like they had enough CC to do any sequence there and maybe get away with it. Vayne out here, but Mars is going to find him invisible anyway, and here comes the combination. Braum unable to get the Unbreakable in front of that one. Vayne just absolutely shattered.
Yeah, Braum just wasting the Unbreakable just on the start of the play, right? Just on the Diana. Yeah, it's nice to use it to keep your HP up, but as soon as they engage on anyone else, all of a sudden that massive cooldown is just not up, and we're seeing Harry go super aggressive here. I think he's going to be able to get this kill here.
Super aggressive, but the Shuriken's just a little wide and hits the minion, sadly. But maybe not for the West Earthers. Maybe a little relieved as well.
There's Mars looking to dive.
Shoved into him.
Mars behind, he's got
Mars
flash.
wants it. I don't know how good an idea it is. I'll hold my breath just in case, but it seems... Did they get the Herald? Let's have
yeah, they did get the Herald.
We were able to pick the Herald. I'm not too sure if it expired, but it's a little later than that, isn't it? He's going to get his backstopped here. Stuntus, if he was quicker, might have been able to find something. Got the missing things going out, so it's just going to be delayed on the reset this time. See all the YAR members backing at the same time to make sure they're not losing too much of this priority.
They'll go down
Get
to the
the
strike.
shoves, they're back. They should, as you say, head down to the strike as it is spawning in just a few seconds.
There's an interesting thing with the Dyna going void stuff so early on. I mean, there's not much magic resist coming out from the side of Cowboys, so I don't know if it's just that he wants to go for that damage over the built-in magic resist, but surely just changing those... Oh, Zephyr's getting collapsed on.
Zephyr's got here a little bit too far across the map. Not going to find friendly faces on that side of the rift.
But yeah, I mean, see, the Dyna's gone for that Merc Treads. Maybe if you just went the Magic Pen boots there, it would have just done the same thing. You could just go for Banshee Veils instead if you want the magic resist. Because there's not a massive amount of CC that's going to be able to stop you, really, other than Vigar Cage and a Braum passive, so... Slight itemization problem there, but otherwise, I mean, looks like they just ran away with it, and sacking this Drake, fully understandable. They lost their top laner, but you know they don't mind. It's a Cloud Drake, right? the ulti cooldown, as much as it is nice, is it's not my goal at the end of the day. And if I was Cowboys, I'd be saying let's just not even bother contesting. Let's just go for that Elder coin flip because I am a burger flipper at heart.
We do enjoy some burger flips. They are at least quite fun to cast and keep things interesting. I hope y'all don't flip too many burgers than they need to, though, with the lead in their favour. Of course, Cypher flipping a burger in the middle of the river was caught here, but Mars looking to catch Milky, flipping some burgers. Slinny looking for a little something extra, but maybe they realise they're outnumbered for now. Zandia not moving, Harry not moving, and Cypher has the TP available as well. Not going to be pulling it there. Nowhere to TP to for now. So a little tussle, a little standoff, nothing too exciting. Backstops here for Milky with the Make It Rain. Just a bit of tension here, waiting for the opportunity to force a Baron, perhaps. Gonna try and create some openings. Got the outer towers to crack, which is kind of the hardest stage of the game. Yes, they made them more rewarding, but they're a lot more difficult to get than most other towers. Looks like Cowboys are looking for something here. They have the clap set up with Aurelia on the flank. Herald going to be dropped, but
won't take that full tower.
Going to get to charge.
No.
Does just not get the charge. Smite comes down just in time to deny that one. So Herald a little bit wasted here. Harry being able to find something here, maybe on just Stuntus. That's a lot of damage and it's happening real fast. Does dodge away from Fullest Duet, but there's action here in the bottom jungle as well. Selena gets the Moonfall and the Zonius dodges away from the cat. Mars flashing over, gets a massive ult I should expect as well. There's no promo to protect him from that one. Zandia going to get his ult cancelled, but Mars going to be cleaned up. The Vayne is still alive is the issue, but Fiora's looking to do something about that one. Lucas here on the side. 2 for 2, I think, or 1 for 2.
1 for
1 in the end.
Great Braum multi there, just stopping the MF ult. Without that, I think they might all go down. The Vayne would definitely have gone down, so very well played there to interrupt the MF ult. Great flash over by Mars to even get the engage in the first place. Slimmy buying time with the stopwatch perfectly set up that play, but if it wasn't for that Braum shield, I think it would have gone a lot worse for the side of Cowboys.
Yeah, a great reaction play, I guess, from Cowboys. It was what we were banking on looking at this composition. They're able to pull it off there and save it for a 1v1. But of course, you are playing that one as well, not to make that one look any worse with the Vayne surviving for that long and getting their ults cancelled. So a bit of everything spent and nothing really gained, but there is somewhat a little bit more of an advantage here for Yars. They're able to get their side waves in first, getting the resets again. So of course, 23 minutes, no soul yet on the cards as well. It's all about the Baron to play for, and it's all about Jarl looking for that team fight to enable them, or that pick to enable them.
Yeah, I mean, Harry's having a bit of writer's block, stuck on this 10-page Medjars here. I'm really hoping he's able to get a couple more on it. So far, it's just been a matter of just using that ulti slightly too soon, trying to rush the play, just slightly going wide on 2 occasions, and that could, that is what, four extra, or is it? No, you get 5 now. I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of AP that you could have got if he hit those. So you took it a game of inches. At this point, for them to be able to finish this game out, because the later it goes, that Vayne can look pretty scary. And Vhagar scaling, I'm not sure what his stacks are at. Can you check that for me?
I can indeed. Let's take a look again. The Vhagar set here at 113 stacks and 261 total AP.
That's not...
It's not maybe as menacing as you'd expect, but he has gone towards the softer AP items. But I suspect his third will hit a little harder. Of course, by then he'll have more stacks as well. Slimy looking to not let that go so far. Harry doing the same here is going to get hit by Force to it. And Harry's going to get out unscathed from now. Well, unscathed not really allowed to get dropped to half HP on 2 spells, but it is what it is. Unscathed compared to being dead.
Probably damage balance state, like that's 2 spells half HP, but still unable to get the kill. Hopefully they can pressure and get the tower, but if not, that's just using abilities for the sake of using it. Yeah, it looks like they should be able to get this tower. Dyna coming over as well as the move, so at least they get this tower because of that trade. But a kill would have been nicer. I wonder if they're ever going to attempt the Baron. I think was it last week we had a Baron play that went slightly awry and we lost the game off of it, or am I thinking of a different
Yeah, it
series?
was a close Baron. We were able to catch back a Baron play. We didn't get the Baron, but we got the kills around it. So Cowboys might be looking to do the same. We are unable to win that game. If they were able to crack that tower, I'll remind people, yes, we were looking for kills to maybe enable this Baron, because of course the Baron enables towers, but that tower in top lane is going to be a bit of a help in getting there. Of course, that's priority and pressure into that top lane that, of course,
But
you can't then use to get vision in that top side.
Cowboys here, look at the shutdowns on the side of VR. I mean, if they get any of the big members, this is going to be massive. But Vayne is getting collapsed
Vayne
on.
is going to get the ult popped and the grand challenge popped on top of that one. Vayne just absolutely isolated, and Yar in the right place to punish. Mars in a great position there. He's got himself surrounded by the members and drops the ult as well. A great cast going to put 3 members outside of the fight, but Harry's here on the back lane. It's going to take away the jungler. There's no Gragas available here, and there's no health bars available here for the rest of the Cowboys. As Yar looking to close in under the tower here. Slinny going to get the last and picks up the kill. That's a clean ace for Yar, just from nowhere.
I mean, I think it just dawned on them that they could just run in and engage with the Vayne down. Cowboys don't really have a chance in those team fights. Yes, the Viger got the cage on the Akali, but did you see the damage the Akali has? They're full HP already, so you know, a bit of a split fight from Cowboys, but yeah, playing it pretty well. And I think that the game took longer to close out than it really should have. But either way, I mean,
Well,
very well done.
yeah, closed out in the end of the Nexus there in favor of Yar after finding a fight in the bottom jungle from just about nowhere, picking off the Vayne, thinking maybe baiting around the dragon. So well played is still a sharp 26 minutes here from Yar.
Yeah, I mean, really well played. I feel like Cowboys' draft just would just take so long to come online. I mean, they've picked two massive scaling picks, the Vayne and the Veigar, but they never really had anything to carry them to that late game. You know, they need something for that early game, mid game, and the Aurelia just got bodied by the Furo for the most part, and then you had an AP Gragas, bit of an off meta pick, and wasn't really able to get much done when the Diana was just there going, I'm going to every lane. And I'm not even like a heavy ganking jungler till I hit items. So crazy, really well played.
Yeah, of course, I felt like there was definitely a lot of deal of pressure put onto this Vayne after she did pretty well in lane. I think that bot lane in general had a pretty good look this game. But of course, the rest of Yar, especially Harry, with his eyes and his shuriken flips, found his way into that bot lane many times, picking up those juicy bounties from the Vayne, handing, well, just many more pages into that stack of Magi's, as we did talk about many times as well. So, of course, Yar picking the winner up this one. Maybe a bit of a draft diff, but definitely a closer look to what we want from Yar from last week. So, Yar on form. We'll have to see if Cowboys can maybe fix some of their drafts, maybe come back with a new look for game 2, but that's game 1 for Yar, and I think we're ready to toss it to a break, so we'll join you back here shortly for game 2. Hey, and welcome back. You join us just ahead of game 2 of Cowboys versus Yar. Yeehaw. So game 1, Yar favored, a short 26 minutes. I think, especially in the break, we took a good amount of time to talk about the draft, so maybe you want to quickly cover maybe some of the issues in hindsight that we isolated, and then maybe some of the solutions.
Um, drafts from this year, not 2 years ago. No, so that's harsh.
New champs only.
It's harsh, but like, yeah, we didn't see a single new champ, right? And yeah, it's nice to see, but there is quite a big difference there. Sorry, just saying already. But yeah, their draft didn't have any team synergy really. Okay, you draft this Vayne Braum. Okay, if you're gonna play the Braum, why not just take it with like a Lucian? Like Braum Lucian is an insanely strong lane. I've seen a dodge from the first attempt at draft, but it's okay. Then they talk about the mid lane Veigar, not really a massive pick at the moment, but it does go well with some junglers. Not Gragas though. Like you need to think about champs that can force them into that cage to make sure that damage works. And you've got to play around it, make sure that it's protected, make sure you can get those levels. The stacking on the Veigar wasn't really up to standard. I mean, if you really want to play Veigar, you need to be able to get to that like you can get 1,000 AP like pretty easily on Veigar at like 20 minutes if you know how, like if you can itemize pretty well. Like literally just go. Why not just go second item death cap? Like, yes, it's not like a perfect for spamming abilities, but when you hit an ability, that damage is massive, and you go into a team comp that was for the most part pretty squishy on the side of VR, so you could have been able to burst through the majority of their backline and be able to do a lot of damage. And things like that, like little itemization things. The Fire took the Comet, yeah, that's nice for lane. You get that little mana flow band, the nice resets, but why not play the aggressive style? Why not go with the electrocute? You're into the Kali, if you need to catch him with a cage, she needs to die in that cage, because otherwise she's going to go back in on you. She has all these dashes, so you need to make sure when you hit that cage, she's dead. So you go for that electrocute, you go for that dark harvest. If you're going to go the Comet, you need to at least always make sure you hit the minion and the person to get those stacks up. Get to that point where you're hitting non-stop stacks up. I'm not saying that Yar's draft was perfect either. I mean, there was a few unsynergized picks. Obviously the Akali wasn't synergized with the rest of the comp, but I can't say anything bad about it because it performed pretty well. He was writing a book the whole time, and it went pretty far. Like he was across the map the whole time. He was doing the push and move. I mean, yes, I'd rather see the push and move technique done on like a Galio or an Annie at this level. Stuff that is faster at pushing lanes, and when they get down the bot lane, they have the CC so they can give over the kills and share them out. But at the same time, the Akali did the job pretty well and was able to outmaneuver. But that's because it was into a Veigar, and the Veigar can't push the wave as fast unless he has those stacks up, and then he can get those massive Ws on the backline. And yes, it's me whinging, but then I'm trying to help, because obviously I want to see more competitive games, and I want to see Yar getting taken all that way like we saw last week, where it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I don't know if I can see this series going that way because of the draft. And I mean, they picked the Gragas, AP Gragas. Yeah, it's okay, but it's not being a priority jungle pick at the moment, and there's so many massive jungle picks, and jungle is a role where you have to be on the meta to be that influential. Fast clearing junglers that gank. That is the role. Gragas, not the fastest clearing, can gank but didn't. That is the problem. And when he did gank, he ganked that top side. Sorry, I'm not letting you speak.
No, I was just gonna say.
Shut up.
Pull all those points together. The book that maybe Akali was writing was on priority, and it was a short little novel, and Gragas didn't really read it. Perhaps wasn't able to utilize the priority. He had got caught out in the river because Akali had written that book instead herself. And that leads us perfectly, as you say, you're looking for a better draft here for game 2 to get us to a game 3.
Sorry, I forgot to transition. Sorry, my bad. Production, not up to standards.
So whilst I'm transitioning the audience, we can transition the stream as well. So before, it was first pick Aurelia, which I personally did not really enjoy. This time it's taken off the board by now drafting on the red side. So Xayah the pick instead. Of course, they banned it on blue side, so they're taking that priority instead. Leaning away from the MF Amumu, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that. I mean, yeah, I don't know about you, but so far, every time we've seen them play that bot lane, I don't feel like it's been a convincing victory in that bot side compared to the other people I've seen play that lane. It is a very aggressive lane, and I just don't think it's at this moment. I don't think they're well practiced enough as their combo together to get that to be working all the time. So I'm happy to see the Xayah come out. Hopefully, we get to see the Rakan, but maybe Cowboys want to take that away, but they picked the Leona. Leona Rakan is a pretty contested who's better into who, because especially in pro play that there's different pros going each way. I believe people like Mickey X is prefers the Rakan. I think Halisang says he prefers the Leona. So
a bit of yin and yang.
Well, two of the best supports going. Obviously, Halisang probably the smartest support in the world, in my opinion. So. Ooh, just taking the Amumu with the Xayah. Surprised to pick here. I would have preferred the Rakan here. I know Amumu does offer a lot of gauge potential, but the Rakan's not bad. I mean, it would really stop these Lee Sin insects with that charm. So surprised they decided to go for this Amumu again. It's just a comfort pick at heart.
Perhaps they don't feel confident taking the Rakan into, I assume, we know it's going to be Milky Cereals Leona with 146 games and 55% win rate on the Leona in support. So it's definitely his preferred champion, at least this season. I don't know about overall, but Milky definitely proficient on the Leona. Perhaps just taking the Amumu for the straight CC power to match that the Rakan might not be able to bring in the matchup. LeBlanc
Checking out
taken
that
here away
LeBlanc.
from Harry as well. The Akali already taken off the board, so we may be looking to pinch the mid pool a little further. I'd expect maybe an Orianna ban as well. That tends to
So
be
just
the
ban
next
out,
best thing for mid.
throw all the
Syndra,
bans.
maybe?
Throw all the bans
All
at
of
him.
the bans.
Throw them all. He plays Azir, Lissandra. Just ban them all. Lissandra, there you
Okay,
go.
maybe it's the Lissandra. What's the last one going to be, do you reckon? The Ori?
I think they'll be scared of the Ori because of the Diana combo, right? But they could also. I mean, you can always just take the Azir and just sit back and just be like, "Hey, I'm fine being back here. You guys have to come to me." I mean,
of course, the divide particularly potent against Leona and Lee, since they'll have to get into that bank line.
if they do ban him, he's got to feel. Harry's got to feel some confidence going into the fact that they needed to ban four mid bans in the first game, four mid bans in the second. So really feeling uncomfortable on this mid lane. So see y'all in game 3. Maybe just, but we'll see how it goes. I wonder if they're going to ban out an ADC here. Who do you think that they really don't want to see? Maybe they don't want that MF on the other side with the Leona.
There's still a chance the Lee Sin could be in solo lane, so... Oh, Jarvan's already off the board as well, so perhaps not as...
Yeah, you don't...
considering they had Flex Jungle here, but...
Lee Sin not really being put towards the solo lane much anymore due to the nerfs that came through, so...
Thank God.
Would be a bit surprised. Yeah, Kai'Sa, yeah. Big Kai'Sa player on the ADC, so that makes a lot of sense. Obviously, he goes really well with the engage, potential, the ulti into the backline. But what's y'all's response going to be? They still don't have a mid or top here, so they're going to have to pick one of blind here. Well, they don't even need to pick him.
One's going to be blind, one's going to be an Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, so do they just pick the Fiora again? Because the Fiora was fine on the top side, and you just pick for mid. Maybe even just pick the Poppy here, because I know that he's a good Poppy player. Yon.
So we are mixing and matching our damage outputs in mid and jungle this time at least. Although I suppose Yon does bring all 3 types of damage because, new champions. But it is what it is. I'll have to see what the last pick here is. You're thinking maybe the Fiora? Maybe the Poppy?
I'd like to see the Poppy
I do
here.
love the Poppy.
I'd like to see the Poppy just based off the LeBlanc Leona Well, he can block Lee Sin, Leona, and LeBlanc. The 3 L's they have to take, But I've never seen the Syndra, so I'm expecting that Yon to go to the top side. Syndra being played by Harry because point and click stun, so surprising picking that top side. Maybe they're expecting that Lee Sin to be at the top side, but if you're Cowboys, you just take a tank and just go, "Hey, Yon, just have a day at trying to get through me. You're gonna have to get a blade to be able to get through me because that's."
It's a 3-way flex. I know Mars has toyed with the Syndra support before.
He has,
yeah. Where it goes in the end. The Olaf is the last pick here for the Cowboys.
It could be. He's staying on him. Slinny does play the Amu, so maybe it is just the Syndra support. He wants to show it off. It does do pretty well until being able to interrupt that E. Yeah, no, just give it to Harry.
Okay. It looks like it's going to be stable as well. So it might be Olaf's jungle. So is Lee Sin looking to solo lane as
interesting.
well in the end? So a multitude of different options were available. The last ones seem to be now locked in. Of course, there isn't a time limit that we have like you would have in Pro. So it's whatever we go into Champ Select with is the finale for us.
Quickly stop the Lee Sin and the Olaf. Just play the Olaf top like Adam does for Fnatic,
Well, we aren't scrimming with Yumi, so it might not go so well. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, interesting matchups across the board. Olaf should be okay into the end, not being able to get hit by these CC chains that are be coming through, but at the same time, if his backline is going to be locked up, he has to be at a position where he's snowballed early to be able to get through, and obviously drops off pretty heavy late on, and only single target. I mean, if this side just puts up her ulti late game when he's trying to dive onto that backside, could be in a lot of trouble because he'll just buy enough time for your ulti to wear off and then root you in place, and there you go, I'd love to see a game 3 again, but I'm not sure if it's going to go the way of the Cowboys in this game.
I'm a lot more convinced, though. I do enjoy this draft a lot more. I think the Kai'Sa is kind of the tip-off for that. As you mentioned, she's got a lot of other champions that look to dash and dive forward. Of course, Olaf enables that, right? If Olaf's unstoppable, Lee Sin, LeBlanc, Leona feel a lot more comfortable being able to follow that one up, and a Kai'Sa puts herself wherever she wants in that fight, going to be able to blow up anyone that's stuck on the backside. Of Xayah without her Blade Storm, Syndra without her Scatter the Weak is going to be blown up quite fast by a Kai'Sa on 2 to 3 items. So there's definitely opportunity here for Cowboys, maybe more than we saw in last game. So we'll have to see how they do. I guess in the laning phase is going to be a big indicator, but there's no reason this game couldn't go late. We've seen Yard drop some mid games before, assuming they get ahead, of course. Now, the Yone is something I'm a little concerned about. I know we talked about it a little bit already. This bot lane is something maybe I'm a little concerned about as well. But really, for me, I absolutely love this mid lane matchup.
Yeah, mid lane will be fun to see. I mean, I've got full trust in Harry. He is insane at that LeBlanc. So obviously, if you're good at the champion, you know its weaknesses, you know its strength. He's pretty good at the Syndra. The problem with the LeBlanc is if you go back to the distortion, you're gonna get stuck in place for the Syndra to land the Scatter of the Weak. Yeah. So, gonna be a very, very good matchup to see which one is the more dominant mid laner here. I'm sort of hoping Harry takes the confidence that he had from the last game, puts it straight through into this one. I think the top side matchup is obviously Lee Sin. Put a couple points into that E, start spamming that every time he gets near the Yone. Yeah. But Yone has high lifesteal and engage potential, so you can just keep poking with his Q. If he lands the Qs, he should be okay. And Lee Sin's just looking to push the wave and then try and roam to other places, try and get that jungle pressure going, open it up for this Olaf. So I think we're gonna see a situation where it's gonna be the junglers dictating the game, like in the first one, where the line sort of ran the show in the last game, giving the priority to the right lanes, giving them the pressure early on.
A lot of that came from the early game as well, right? Being able to drop a ward to the top side and then fake the leash. There was not a lot of information Dagger had to work with. And of course, you mentioned Gragas not being able to clear so fast. Slinny was out of the gate a couple of races or laps ahead of poor Dagger there. And then, of course, Dagger got cut out in the river again by the priority. So here with the Olaf, of course, a lot faster clear. And these lanes, not so given one-way in terms of priority, Dagger might be able to find some reach for Cowboys back into this game, as we are not far off from the Rift. We're going to be loading into Champ Select.
Loading.
A little look at what's going to go on. So Cowboys are well set up to have a much better look into this game, having corrected to come back with a very different looking draft. Yeah, looking somewhat the same, maybe a little bit more scattered, but their typical skirmish team fighting composition is still at its core.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a team fight comp. I'm really excited to see this Amumu again, especially after the way the lane phase went last time. Maybe just a bit too aggressive early on. Sorry about that, I guess. The transitions are probably not as smooth. I have not really set this up very well on my end, but hey, it's fine. That does its job.
Are you onto the Rift? My second window hasn't opened, just to check.
Oh, I am onto the Rift. You can watch it on the stream at EsportsWales.
3 minutes behind. I'm sure that'll make for some great play-by-play casting.
It's only
so if you'll forgive me for just relaunching my client for now.
I believe I've got it set as a 4-second delay, so if anyone in chat wants to talk, they can feel free. But we're going to see a cheeky invade again from the side of Cowboys here. Last time they went for the death bush, I wonder if they're going to try something. It looks like they're going to try it towards the spot side. Is Amumu going to get caught out here? Really just... Oh, he's going to get spotted. Is she going to flash and go for that E? No, just backs off. Yeah, well, that invade thwarted by the fact that Miles just walked out that bush just to spot them in time.
I will point out, whilst I can't see anything that's happening, I do love the fact that at this level of play, we're still getting creative with the level ones.
Yeah, I mean, both of them going for these wards on the top side, but are they going to get cut off by this Olaf? No, I didn't even throw the axe, so... Yeah, both of them have got early info here. If they start on these reds, they're going to know, but at least for the side of Yar, it's only on the chickens, so... Looks like Dine's going to start topside clear to bot, so... I can imagine if they're listening on the stream, they find out 3 minutes later where the jungler started, but... Yeah, I believe stream delay is 10 seconds for viewers. Obviously, we're 3 minutes behind for the actual game. People playing the game, so... Anyone would like to comment anything, feel free. I don't actually have chat open at the moment.
I'm not far off coming back in, I think, so if anyone wanted to quick chat, now's the time. Maybe get some predictions in.
Well, I'm definitely predicting that we're going to see some plays towards this bot and mid side, because bot lane last time was very strong for the side of Cowboys. Very strong. A shame it didn't come out very well for them, but for the most part, that was a massive pressure point here. Looks like Diana is going to be clearing to this bot side. Olaf clearing to the top side. We haven't seen any aggressive plays from this Amumu yet, like we saw previously, but it is into a Leona this time instead of the Braum, so maybe it'll be okay. But level 2's about to get procced here by both of them. Yeah, hits it first. Mars looking for the Q, goes wide. And Leona engages strong, going back into the backside. Ignite down. I think Mars is going to die here. On the backside, yeah. Ignite, heal, burn on both sides. And yeah, Mars down. A sad little little mummy there just lying on the floor, looking up to the sky, regretting his decision to go for that play.
Well, I am back in and caught up just in time to watch Mars die there. Definitely not a caster curse, but Milky definitely making cereal there out of the Amumu. Having him for breakfast for sure. So, whilst I get myself orientated, we can take a look at the state of the map. Just ever so slightly. So it seems Lee Sin has the shove as well as the spot lane. The only contrary to that in Yar's favour is, of course, Harry making his due diligence. I just want to be careful saying that one.
Scout the Week goes wide, but...
Look at that wave. It's pretty powerful. Scout the Week a little wide, as you
Olaf's
say.
coming, though.
Olaf's coming. Both wearing world skins, trying to make use of the time of year, but the Unite's going to come down, ticking, and Olaf with the undertow.
Oh, minions.
Not even needed. Just going to get his jam, but
Minions
just picking up on the max on that one. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I don't think the flash wasn't available.
It was available. It just didn't expect the minions to do that much damage. But
I have a little indicator there showing that it's on time, but doesn't seem to be in the right place, probably because I loaded in late, but still looking to make an early play here into the bot lane. Serial having to flash away just for now. He's going to use the Daybreak to get himself out of reach just in time. Zypher looking to put himself within harm's reach, going to get a little bit of bonus damage there onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin getting it back as well. So just the usual trading patterns, but this time it's the Cowboys coming out ahead of the gates.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember also the fact that LeBlanc went down to those Winions, as we like to call them. She lost a wave for that, so she's down 11 CS at this point, and that has netted Harry, Darksteel, and Boots compared to just the Hampton Tome. So pretty big difference here to kind of really help the Syndra land these scatters of the weeks onto this LeBlanc and be able to get out of these bindings.
Just goes to show how much kind of practice and how much value you can get out of minions. I know a lot of players these days are a lot more aware about the use of minion waves with a lot of discussion that goes on Twitter and in Reddits, but I think this really just kind of illustrates just how much difference those minions make early as well. And of course, League of Legends being the snowball kind of game that it is, any advantage that you can get early, you can push really hard. So if you are up a Boots and a Darkseer, like you say, of course, there goes an extra mile with a crafting potion. It's going to go some distance, even pulling Olaf out of the jungle just to create some pressure.
Yeah, there's a great story about Froggen back in the day where everyone who played against him was like, this dude trying to not fight me the whole time, instead focusing on the minions. What's he doing? But turns out that's the way you played the game. He was able to win most of the games through that style. But we are seeing back and forth, both teams just stacking waves. The mid lane stacked into Cowboys. This time, you won't be able to catch a massively stacked wave here going into the tower.
Yeah, it kind of comes back to that kind of style. If you're getting a bit philosophical, as long as you have more gold, you'll win, right? So if your opponent can't fight you and you take their gold, they haven't really got anything to do but kill you. But of course, if you're heading gold, they can't do that. It's that kind of take all, give nothing kind of approach. Take all the farm, give no kills, you're winning.
And the way that the minion wave was done in the tower really influenced this thing. But Harry going to get caught out here by the
Milky making a bowl of something here in the mid lane. Harry just going to deny that one. He doesn't have his ready breakfast set up. Just going to walk out of the mid lane there. Maybe lose a bit of XP. I don't think so. The wave's pushing into him. So Milky using some of this timing, but of course Lily looking to make use of that time instead. Gets himself into the river. Mars face checking here. He's going to find Dagger and an undertow. He's going to get dropped to half. Reckless swing yet to go. The Zenith Blade going to keep him locked up. Going to have to flash as a director cam just jukes me out into the top lane. Zandiel now reaching his way into the plate. Stepper going to look to get something here. I don't think the Feather's got the root, but they're going to get the Dagger first thanks to the Ignite and just more people on the right side of the wall.
Yeah, really unlucky there. I think there was a bit of a miscommunication on both sides, but we're seeing Harry go aggressive. Look at that. Red phase rush proc.
He's going to look to get something better, and the unleashed power is onto the right target. Going to get the clone on the wrong side of that one. So, with both summoners available, not really getting use out of anything or out of the spells there. Harry just really on board with that.
A summoner spell's not installed, but look at the CS difference here. 24 CS, doubled the CS at 6 or 7 minutes. That is going to be crazy, and I think he's going to pick up a tower plate for himself here, but Serial trying to contest the blue buff.
Serial deep here does get the smite onto the blue, but it's not going to give him too much. Blue transfer complete. Zandia looking to get some feathers down, but does walk to mid range of Leona. A little bit questionable. Flashes to get the roots in here and gets the final feather through the heart of Leona, but he's got a Chango now with an unstoppable left, and I don't think you want that one. Mars doesn't for sure. Zandia just going to use the heal as well. Maybe a bit ambitious. Going to buy some time at the very least.
Yeah,
a little bit more than Yar should have been chewing on that one.
Yeah, Slimmy going for the blue buff, but Serial just there, ready just to go. Nope, you've over-aggressed here. Let me just put you back in your place. Luckily, the Xayah Flash able to get that root through does a lot of damage, but at that point you're stuck next to an Olaf who's 6, ulted you. I think the healer was a bit ambitious. I think just a bit of a waste, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can't get annoyed on either side there too much for that play.
I am now somewhat concerned for Yar's bot lane because they are now sums down by quite a margin. And of course, Olaf sure is going to be cleared on this side, but a lot of their, if you look at the vision, look at all those controls. Olaf has a great time getting into this bot lane, and an even better time since there are no summoners available as well. There's definitely room to attack here. Speaking of attack, Zero just going to get a little bit of vision score.
Xayah should be 6 soon, so should be able to avoid out on the Leona ult, but I think Leona wants to walk up, be able to trade ult for ult, really. I think that is a great thing to do. I believe that the Xayah ult is on a longer cooldown, but Lee Sin going aggressive in this top side.
Zypher using the dash maybe a little inappropriately. Going to bait out the Sonic Wave, uses the Fate Seal to get a little bit further forward. Slinny and Harry in the vicinity as well. Maybe it's looking to make this one a dive. Zypher to kick some CC. There's a little bit of bonus damage. Lee Sin going forward. Maybe that's not the time to do it as the Moonfall catches him on the other side of his flash there and just absolutely demolishes that poor Lee Sin.
Insane positioning there from Slinny, catching on both sides.
Speaking of good positioning, Mars not in a good one. Jumper going to get the double chains here down onto Mars. Does use the bandage toss to buffer the stun. Ignite going to come through, but the distortion is enough to catch that one before Harry can save his soul. Now might be in a bit of trouble himself as Serial's walking forward with the daybreak. There's in trouble as well. There's a TP here and an undertow straight underneath him. He has no Fate Seal, remember. It's going to tank up an additional tower shot and use the Fate Seal himself under that one. Not too sure what's been happening in the river. Some pings coming down. No real health bars under threat here or in peril. So just some vision being cleared instead.
Diana being forced off Herald there just simply because of the Mars getting taken down. Syndrome walking up, and then I think this is going to net in the Cowboys' favor. Yeah, they're just starting it, so they'll get this pretty much free. So yeah, unfortunate by the side of overextending there. Maybe Zephyr staying too long on that top side, trying to make sure he gets that double tower plate and goes down and can't contest the mid river, but trading pretty heavily on this top side back.
Yeah, just TP'd in nice and fresh with some of these items. And the guard, of course, he's been able to accrue here over Lee Sin. He's down some CS advantage, and he's going to spot out Dagger, who's going to instantly drop the Herald, looking to get an early way in onto this tower.
Is that a mistake?
Able to drop it to one plate. It might have been a mistake since you know that Slifer had already backed off. I think they might have been able to get the whole tower if they just waited a little longer. They might yet get it anyway. Zypher definitely doesn't want to approach this with 3 members there and a Herald. It's not very much in his favor. That is what he does. Stick around too long and they will just pull the trigger. Instead, we're looking to pull the trigger here on the bot side as Mars gets in with a nice bandage toss. Has the second one available as well. Nice not being able to get out of there. Great Root is going to get traded 1-for-1, but of course going to lose out on that massive wave, and that's played there for in exchange for that tower and top side.
You take that as that's a double stacked minion wave there, and probably 2 plates, maybe even 3 going on to Zandia here. There's another wave crashing again, so maybe even missing out on this one as well. So 3 waves, yes, you trade back a kill, but Mars not looking too healthy, really. I mean, 0-3, probably not getting that full 300 gold bounty, probably about 200. So at the end of the day, you trade 200 gold for 3 tower platings and 3 waves. Pretty good by Yar there.
Pretty good indeed. He's going to keep this gold lead narrow. Of course, 6 to 7 in kills, but really there's the Drake and the plates in the first tower quite early on, really making the difference here. Of course, the CS lead now in favor of Zandia in bot lane and Harry in the mid lane, keeping it even closer again. It's all of about 200 gold, maybe even less than that, if you could see the micro numbers.
Yeah, I believe that played bot side then just equalized the gold that the Cowboys got top side, just based off of the minion waves alone. Yes, they got 5 plates on the top side, but they got 3 plates bot and 3 waves and the kill. I feel like that just even that whole play, and now only 200 gold separating these teams. Actually, about 150, but
Harry going to get caught here with the in-second day breaking. Oh, in exchange, Steptoe's going to get caught out here by not the first bandage toss, but maybe the second. I think maybe it was used to close the gap there. Not getting up the ult. Going to get the passive prompt on instead. So, yeah, failing to pull the trigger there. Harry going to get caught by 4 members. Looking for a collapse as well. They do have tie numbers, but of course Mars not looking the healthiest. A simple couple of undertows or a reckless swing could put him very much in the bin. Maybe looking for something, but he's playing into some darkness.
Yeah, Maz's bandage shot's really flying off to Narnia at that point. I think if he hits that, the Kaiser would be dead. So slight misplay there, but you know, at the end of the day, not too bad.
Maybe it would have been Narnia for us still casting from my closet, but I don't think I have the reaction speed to be able to dodge that one. I definitely would have got hit by that bandage toss if that was the case.
Control position.
Control positioning, maybe a little shallow of getting the woods in the back of the bush, but unfortunately for them being the Cowboys, they're not going to find the bush. Anyway, so he's going to do better to face check, but he isn't going to find a dragon. And that's 2 drakes in favor here of Cowboys to start.
That pink ward is definitely a blue side ward. So if you're blue side, you don't have to worry about the wards at the back of the pit for the most part, because that's your side of the map, right? They probably won't be on that side, so you can put it a bit further out, get that vision of the river. Yeah. But as far as that goes, you're never going to catch the wards at the back of the pit there. So if they had a ward at the back of the pit, they could just leave it in there the whole game, basically, and would be uncontested. So could have really been spotted out very easily there.
Yeah, maybe giving room for a potential steal. Not this state at the least, but maybe on board they'll learn that one. Deeming knowledge from delightful color casting.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably a bit upset that when they stack drakes, they got a cloud drake. This time they get they get an ocean. So a bit unfortunate, but unfortunately we don't have a Rengar to make the most out of all of these lovely bushes that have appeared.
No, but as long as you hide on them, I'm sure it won't matter too much. As long as you're setting out the Fnatic bushes, well, I suppose every champion becomes a Rengar then. Looking to do maybe exactly that with Zypher and Mars. Trying to cut the vision here of the wave. Zandian making not too obvious that there's people here. Hex Splash going to close the gap here. And the bandage toss just connects there onto the Gale Force. Second one not going to be used, but that's flashed there out of Kaiser for just about nothing.
Yeah, but that's time invested from the Diana and the Yone in that bot side. Yes, yes, you got the flash, but is that worth the golden XP that these guys are missing out? If you guys can't get this tower bot side, I think it's pretty just a net loss across the board.
No, it seems they are definitely going to be able to secure this tower. I feel like that maybe they're not missing too much. I think Harry maybe missed a wave as that wave slowly pushed under his tower, but I don't think Zypher could have reached too far into that top lane, so it's better off making numbers advantage and getting something for the whole team on the bottom side of the map there. Mars looking for something I don't think he really wants. The team doesn't really want either. Everyone's going to get out.
The team's like, we're not
just a little shy at the bush.
We're not following you anymore, Mars. We don't trust you. We're just resetting here.
I'll tell you who is following him is Milky Cereal, but he's going to be distracted by the ward, as all good supports are. Gonna make sure he's safe to do that.
It's 30 gold. It's worth it at every opportunity. I die for 30 gold all the time. It's completely worth.
I'd do less for free, I'm going to be honest. Milky looking for maybe a little bit more. I don't think he's going to find a ward, but he will find Mars and a Zenith Blade to connect onto that one. Stepstone looking to be in the vicinity, but Harry's going to arrive here on time as well.
Maybe just a bit aggressive.
Scattered the weak onto one. Maybe a bit aggressively soon. We'll have to see how this one goes out on the bandage toss, but it's quite a distance he's made. Does connect the ult onto 2. The Ignite comes down here on Stepstone as well, and he just absolutely gets deleted as soon as Harry's in range. Looking to maybe flash over the wall. Gonna try and extend their range, but he's not quite as rookie as he'd like to be. Not able to connect that scatter the weak, but just good enough performance anyway. Gets the Kaiser, no problem there.
Yeah, really surprising that they went for that play onto the Amumu. Yes, you saw a couple of them reset, but you didn't see where the mid laner was. You knew that they were at some point in mid, but you haven't seen them for a while. You saw him disappear to that bot into the bot side jungle, so you knew he should be close by. Really, I hate diving between those tier 2 towers because it's so easy to be collapsed upon, and we saw the collapse happen, and Mars saving the ulti for just the right time because he left it just long enough for him just to walk slowly together, so they got a little bit further thinking he could get out, but comes down. Easy kill for Harry.
On the wrong side of the river here, I think he knows he's just going to try and walk this one out. Connects the Zenith Blade just to buy some time. Who's the kill going to go over? It's over onto Harry, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Picking up all those kills last game, looking to follow this trend here in the second game. Slimmy forcing the distortion here out of the block. Getting the wave under the tower here.
Like Cowboys
to crack this outer tower.
Cowboys picked up Herald in the meantime. That is pretty good for them. I wonder if they're going to use this to pressure that mid lane afterwards, or maybe they'll save it for Drake and just put it into the top lane just to try and get some pressure ready for it. Drake's spawning in about a minute's time, so we should see some plays for the vision starting to happen soon.
Yeah, it looks like you are looking to make plays for this tower happen first, though, as they find engage here onto the Ragnarok, but he's going to be popping the Daybreak, maybe a little shallow, and Insect going to get cancelled out here. Leona's stuck in the middle of all of them. Jumbo being able to pick Mars on the backside of that one. Milky Zero going to get dropped, perhaps on the backside of that one, is instead going to find Stepstoe, trying to get his way into this play. The TP is late here from Zypher with the face heal. Might be available. The Blade and the Feathers and the Recoil is going to not quite stun up Sonathus, but he's going to find himself at the back lines of VR. Zypher's going to have to go back, but he's all the way under the tower. He's going to find the 2 carries on the back end. There's a lot of mess going on there and a lot of mechanics going a little bit wide, but it was a fight for sure. Favor 2 for 3, I think, in Yar.
I think it was, yeah, 2 for 3, yeah. Zephyr wasn't.
Mars died as well, so it was 3 for 3.
3 for 3, yeah. Yeah, Mars isn't worth much gold at this point, so that's fine. We take those. But yeah, honestly, well played by both. That LeBlanc just popping people on when they become closer, but maybe just a bit of a overextension from the Olaf. When he popped the ulti, he ran forwards, but you're running into the damage. You could have run away and really stopped that whole play from happening. But either way, you got some kills into your LeBlanc. That you're feeling pretty good about that. Lee Sin came in to try and get the Desire. Luckily, the pullback of the feathers went slightly wide, so he's able to dodge out on that. Otherwise, I think he would have gone down before he got that kill, and it would have been in Yar's favor. But slight mechanics going with each side, so.
We'll have to keep track of the mechanics here, as Smite does come down in time to pick up the third Dragon Slayer. Looking for a little bit more. Not too sure what he has available, but he's going to find it. Engage here onto the Kaiser. That's not a bad one. We'd fall onto 3. And then engage here from Mons. Going to keep the backline from entering this fight, as Yarn pick up the front line nice and easy. Scout of the Week going to come in and connect straight onto the 2 carries. Going to clean up 1. Going to clean up 2 on the back end. LeBlanc, yes, she got the 2 gold in the last fight, but she's not able to find any more health bars in the next fight. And yeah, not able to pick up the dragon, not able to stop the Dragon Soul Collective. Oh, I've looked for a little bit more. Going to find a tower shot instead, but they still come away with that fight.
Yeah, it's a lovely fight there from Yar, just able to pick up after the
trick. Here onto Jumbo, he's looking for a little bit more, wasn't able to secure that blue buff, so looking for a little bit extra, going to get the double dash on the Proto Belt, but nothing more than that.
But Jesus, non-stop fighting in the last couple of seconds, but Harry on the Syndra being able to find these stuns left, right, and center. I mean, the perfect stun on the Kai'Sa and was Lee Sin perfectly positioned to get both of them one shot. But yeah, I mean, it's not lost for Cowboys. They got the Drake. Yes, you lost 4 members on the backside, but the Ocean Soul is a massive game changer for you. So if you can get that in 4 minutes' time, you still have a massive chance of winning this game. And there's a few members of Yar that's scary, but I wouldn't say that Cowboys are really feeling behind in this game, because their LeBlanc can just pop their backside. So
yeah, it's very much about the distribution of gold, and of course if LeBlanc's got most of your gold, she can take out most of your enemy's gold as well. That is the favour of Assassins, looking to get rid of not much gold here in the form of Mars. TP here going to be from Harry, looking to get the Zenith Blade to cancel. It does in Swell. There's 2 kills here for the Cowboys, and one of them was definitely important. Shut down 700 gold for the Ragnarok.
Yeah, Baron's
Ragnarok. He scored a left.
Baron could be on the table here. I mean, it's up in 10 seconds here. They can just set up the vision just beforehand and just start it straight away. They know that Zephyr's sure on bot side, so I think they're just going to start this and take it for free. Yeah, no one can really contest this. As Zania might get spotted up by this lead, but yeah, really well played there. I think Syndra TP was probably a mistake there. I think you're dead either way, or at least maybe stand behind, go Alcove Gaming for a second, but.
Oh, good lord, and that's what I was talking about, the gold just taking out the enemy's gold. Sliny looking to make something happen here, but he's just going to find his way here onto Stepstone, going to get dropped out first, and now it's definitely a Baron in favour, and there's a long time now until Sliny's back up again.
Yeah, I mean, you just, maybe it's worth just giving that at that point, but.
Mars? Alright, buddy? I don't think you want to be there. I think that was just not taking that kill out of generosity, not really knowing if there's anyone else further in the jungle since their vision is so shallow. Cowboys picking up a nice 20-minute Baron. Going to be losing out on some of these waves, but they're definitely coming out ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and they just flipped the game back on its head after that Drake play, right? They were down 3k. Now they're equalizing the gold. Really well played. They picked up a lot of the massive shutdowns. Zephyr's is the only one left remaining. Yes, Sliny wanted to contest there, but he also gave over a 400 shutdown on top of the 2k gold that they all get for getting that Baron, so really equalizing the gold.
Cypher's bounty might be yet claimed. Jumper in the vicinity to pick up from Lucky Zero here. Cypher already dropped to half, no real. Oh god, he's just absolutely gone. Jumper definitely picking up in the second half of this game. Cypher's going to get a little bit more with that shutdown that was available as well. Lucky Zero doing well to catch him out and CC him, making sure that no way for Cypher to escape. I don't think he even got to reset.
That LeBlanc is even more scary now. And that's an 8-2 LeBlanc. She's gonna reset, get another item going on the side of, but she could end up getting a book here. She might start writing a novel herself. Those 10 stacks of the Dark Seal going. But so far, I mean, the goal on both teams is majority on those mid laners.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on these mid laners in the fights. Of course, Harry had some great scatter the weeks earlier. He's looking to carry out and carry forward with that trend so far. Not looking to let LeBlanc write too many pages in a book. Doesn't look like she's going to upgrade it to a Magi's, I don't believe. Yep, the Cosmic Drive instead, and a couple of Control Lords. This Control Lord's going to be very important in the next 45 seconds as the Ocean Drake, the Ocean Soul, spawns. Yeah, placing their vision down early, making sure that they have the paths and fights they're going to be looking for, the ones they want to take, not the kills they look to give over, as they have been in a couple seconds and skirmishes past. Miles wading into the river, looking coy, and it's just gone. That was it. There's a LeBlanc in that bush. That means you are dead. You can't walk into this river so freely. It's great of the week onto 2, but they're not in a position to fight it. They haven't really got most of their team fight. There is that little ward there by the river bush. They're spotting out most of their members. They've now spotted that one out.
Do you just have to give this now? You can't really walk in. You've lost your massive form of CC. Unless you go for just getting mid tower. Yeah, they're going for mid tower here. Maybe even contesting inhibitor tower. They pull them off of this, but they don't need to all be there. They just need Olaf and Kaiser to stay to do this. Even just Olaf alone. So yeah, you get a tower mid lane, but that mid lane tower was looking pretty low anyway. So unless you can find a pick here on the backside, you just gave up Ocean Soul for a tower.
And that is what's happened, right? You've given over a kill, and that meant that you trade the Ocean Soul for a tower as you stay. Yeah, not looking favourable in this mid game. Great courtesy or presence of mind. I mean, I don't know how I got courtesy on that one. Considered play. Maybe that's what I was leaning for Cowboys here, connecting all the C's.
I mean, look what they're
looking to connect some more CC to get themselves a little further ahead in this game, but still narrow.
Look at the big difference in the supports here. Look at the itemization that we're seeing coming through. Look, we're seeing one go towards Abyssal Mask, right? The Leona. That extra damage, the resistances that they'll get against the Diana and the Syndra is massive. Plus, you know, when you CC someone, you get 15% more. Everyone gets 15% more damage against them. Massive, right? And we're seeing the Amumu go more for the armor.
I suspect that might end up being Zeke's, I'd guess. But yeah, like you say, it's not going to be maybe enough, but he might be able to find something in the backline here. He's not going to get his ult, but he does. He finds the flash and connects it onto 2 with the Fate Seal on the backside of the insect, going to keep him out of there. Milky Seer are going to be cleaned up. The Leona's gone out of there. The Ragnarok going to be walked away, but Jumper's yet to make his way into this fight. He's going to blow up Mars on the first rotation. Cypher going to find something in the backline. Slinny looking to get something out of there. Just going to flash out of the decent connections there. Cypher going to pick up the second one. There's a double kill for the 2 on LeBlanc, and Zandy are going to be able to keep Lee Sin closed up. He's going to find another double kill here, I think. Jumper, drag it, looking to pick up Harry. The scout of the week. I don't think he's quite available yet. And there's the full combo there from LeBlanc picking that one up. And good God, that was messy. And there was so much happening on, I think, at least 4 different fronts there. But it seemed to be an even trade overall, unless something more happens here. Ooh. I think that just makes the difference. Jumper looking for something. He's going to distortion straight over the wall and kill. I don't think he even knew he was there. We take those.
I mean, this LeBlanc is a monster. Harry was able to keep him busy on the backside, whilst the Yone and the Xayah fight off Lee Sin and Kaiser. But at the end of the day, the shutdowns on Yar went over if they had any. But
look at all that damage that chain connects as well. It's Zypher.
He's dead.
Able to get out, he's going to die. Jagger going to look to find something here as the Daybreak finds his way onto there. Zero going to pick that one up, and aggressive support. You'll love to see it. Protobelt not going to find.
Just walk it out.
On the backside of that one, Slenny. Maybe looking for something here. Does connect the Crescent Strike onto 2. Mars unable to protect his allies. Just going to walk around these minions for a little bit, crying. Role playing a movie there.
Now, gold-wise, it's even, right? Well, pretty even. About 1.5k down for the team of VR. Are we seeing any win conditions back into the game? Because so far, all I'm seeing is this LeBlanc is going to be able to one-shot even your front line at this point. Because Mars is only sitting at about 1.5k HP. I'm pretty sure Syndra has more HP than that. Diana definitely does. So, you know, you're not looking at the beefiest boys here.
Yeah, and of course with the death cap on the way with the 2 rods already in inventory and 10 stacks on the dark still, this LeBlanc is mighty threatening. You can see there on the mini-map as well, just before the direct cam jumps over. It's that thing that a lot of casters like to point out is how to play LeBlanc well, is to use the distortions at a distance, then walk in and jump back at any point, just to make sure that you can just utilize such a wide range of pressure, being able to walk so far forward with no real threat on you.
Yeah, I mean,
To get
look at Milky setting up this vision line here, trying to get in here, trying to be able to uh, play aggressively onto this Baron. There is a nice ward just slightly shy of the Baron pit. If the control ward is put in a weird way, it might not be spotted out here. But obviously they have the scuttle crab that everyone likes to die over still there, so they can't just walk straight into it. But the big thing to look out for is once we see Slimmy just having a little play with the LeBlanc. Eldragon in 2 minutes here. So I think that this is the biggest opportunity for Yar to win this game, is to get that smite on that Elder.
Of course, whilst the gold is closest, their best opportunity, they will forever be fighting into this Ocean Storm. That is the biggest boon that Cowboys have for them, on top of this LeBlanc being nigh unstoppable. They have Zypher in the side lane. TP is available as Cowboys are starting out this Baron already down to 10k, 9k, 8k HP. Gonna sit at 9, they're going to pull it. Maybe they're toying with the idea. Scatter Weak here onto LeBlanc. That could be huge with the power. The Unstoppable not going to be able to kill the LeBlanc, but it does put her out of the fight. Maybe Zandia going to find a lot of feathers onto 3 people. The Daybreak is just as big, and the movement ult follows that one out. Zypher's finds his way in here off the back of the team. He's going to clean them up. There's no LeBlanc in this fight. Remember, this is Yar's fight. They're looking to fight against the Ocean Soul. They stop the Baron. And there's a double kill for Harry. Is going to move a lot of damage and a lot of balls into the face of Kai'Sa. Yar, they think they have vision of the block, as you say. He's going to be panning up. Not looking for something here. Harry might be able to get dropped on the backside. Does get absolutely popped. Distortioning at an angle to make sure he does get hit by the Scatter of the Week. Is unlucky. That deters them from starting this Baron. But they won that fight. They stopped the Baron, and they're keeping this game close.
I mean, yeah, insanely well played by Harry on the backside, being able to get that massive chunk out on the LeBlanc. But the biggest part of that is that the LeBlanc doesn't go down. And on the backside, able to pick up the Sinjaf, just playing around that bush vision. But if that's LeBlanc goes down, that's a 1k shutdown, plus then the Dark Seal stacks that they're going to be missing. That would be massive for the Sinjaf to pick up there. But either way, I mean, that kill on the Sinjaf probably pushes them off of this Baron. But Elder, 30 seconds. We haven't seen any vision really set up. But Leona is the first one here, but none of his team's here. So if Yar walks in here, obviously they don't see the vision that we have, but if they can walk in here and get this vision early on, they're feeling pretty confident here.
Yeah, Yar not really able to split push. I don't think you can start a fight without your Syndra being there. She's going to TP in right away. All the members are here. Like you say, there's a particular lack of vision since everyone was dying over there at the Baron. The waves have been very slightly touched, but Zypher might be the one caught out here. Jumper going to find him on the backside. That's just about Zypher gone. He might be able to trade this one back. He's actually doing it. I don't know how he's doing it. He's done it. He's solo killed the LeBlanc. Being surprised, he's going to get traded back though. But Slane's going to find the engage. Yamar's going to follow that one up. He's unable to kill the off yet. Quite yet, I think. And Olaf in the backline is going to be able to find his way into Zypher. Yeah, he's going to get the feathers back just about in time. Going to keep him rooted. Going to keep him alive. But this is Cowboys fight for now. They're going to keep him closing. It's Kai'Sa ult, first one I think I've seen all game. Going to find his way onto Harry, and the team's there. That's a triple kill for the Kai'Sa in the end. They find the fight in what was Yar's advantage to begin with. I think they get the Elder. I don't think that's quite the game yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, there were some massive things that happened. Zephyr just solo killing LeBlanc, got massive props to him on that one. Insane. I mean, Yon broken, I guess. But yeah, he's come back into that game really swinging. But the biggest problem there is I think that the Amumu didn't have ulti for that fight, so even though they had that massive engage with the Diana's alone on that backside. Kai'Sa just ults back out into their backline because the Olaf's sitting there just wailing on the Xayah, no peel, no nothing. And yeah, without that stun to come through to lock down their backline into that lane, the Kai'Sa just dashes straight back into the front, helps the rest of them, and yeah, that's Elder gone and Baron, and Yara probably thinking, how do we get back into this? Is this even comebackable here? Are you thinking maybe game 3?
It's got to be on your minds, right? I don't think they're the kind of guys to give up. They'll be looking to fight this one maybe as soon as the Elder runs out. But of course, their win conditions are off the board. They've lost now the Baron and the Elder, and this gold advantage is, well, it's perhaps the most significant we've seen. It's not that massive at 3k, 30 minutes into the game, but it's the biggest lead we've seen so far. They're going to pick up a blue buff just like that. There was a blue buff there, in case you weren't really watching. It's gone now. Into Jumbo's back pocket is that one. It's going to be using good use out of that mana. That chip harass, that CD is going to go a long way with all those distortions. Going to be setting up vision to enable that one as well. Looking at, it's not even going to step onto that control one. Going to let the team clear that one first and walk up here onto this tower. The Baron minion going to be doing work. Zypher looking to deal with that one. Those fake sealed here straight onto Striptoes. The Kai'Sa had a big fight on the backside. That one they have failed. Zypher going to keep himself just above that mark there. Not going to die, but Slinny isn't, and that's a lot of your engage gone. You're now looking for Scatter of the Week. So I don't think Mars really wants to engage onto this. The Ocean Soul going to keep them alive as well. So that That chip damage Cypher did there is just about lost here on Caster. She picks up the red buff for that additional regeneration. That could just be game. We'll have to see how it plays out, but it's definitely in Cowboys' favor now. Game 3 in their mouths. They're tasting. They're looking for it. There's the ult there going from Zandiel. That could be the go button. And here it is from Lucas. It's going to connect the Zenith Blade here onto Harry. I think he's going to get absolutely blown up. There goes the Scatter Week. There goes most of Yar's gold. It's up to the rest of the team to pick up from the back of that one. Stripto going to use the heal to stay alive from the Gale Force. Zandiel going to use the flash to get away from Jumper, but that is still the inhibitor gone. They have the Baron buff still, and 5 members strong looking into 3. Zandiel not even full health. I think the Elder buff is just about run out, but Jumper's looking to get in there with a double distortion flash, and there was exactly there, just like that blue buff's going to suffer the same story. Mars finds a great 5-man ult. This might be it. That might be the turn they're looking for, but I don't know if it's enough. The kick's going to keep Zypher out of that fight. No fate still available either. Mars looking for the re-engage, but of course the Elder's still there. I got that one wrong, and Cowboys looking to clean this one up. They're on both of the towers. They're on the rest of the inhibs. Look at all these minions. I don't think it's enough. It's really just about dodging away, and that's game here for Cowboys. We're going to a game 3.
Oh. I mean, I actually get to see the Nexus explode because there wasn't a pause this game. I mean, so much to unpack in that game, right? Yeah, led very early on, pretty well. They were doing insanely well, but the Syndra really popping off. But the shutdown went over to the LeBlanc, and LeBlanc was able then just to farm kills. Basically, they got the Dark Seal stack going pretty early on, and yeah, I just felt like LeBlanc just took over the game. And then there wasn't really an answer to being able to lock it down because your major CC is this Amumu, and what damage can an Amumu do when he gets blown up by one LeBlanc W?
Yeah, exactly that. I think the best way to highlight is that during that game we talked about the kind of early game or early League of Legends philosophy of take all the minions, give none, right? The LeBlanc was Flame Horizon by Harry here, who also had a great game, but was still up 3k gold. That's just the kind of performance Jumper had on this LeBlanc. I find it now kind of strange that they banned that one away and they put so much pressure onto mid lane. As long as you can get that LeBlanc for Jumper, I think they might be doing fine. Cowboys, that's a lot better luck than last game.
To be fair, I think before that last fight, I think Jumper was actually even with Harry and gold. I checked it just before the Elder, and they were on even exact gold. So yeah, I will say that the Jumper really shine through, but the prop I have to give is to the Leona, right? Mm-hmm. Like Mars didn't show up in this game very well. Like the ultis weren't great, the engages, and then just being caught out constantly by this LeBlanc. But Milky Cereal always on point, always finding the right ultis, catching the Syndra in the last play, because Syndra is the massive gold difference. And you know, yes, the Mars was going for the backline, going for the Kai'Sa, but the Kai'Sa wasn't in the game for a long time. I mean, she was sitting at like 2 and 4, 2 and 3 for so long, and really not being able to get that impact damage on. So keeping going on her is not the answer. You need to go on this LeBlanc, because you see her get that shutdown, and the only person who seemed to be focusing her was the Syndra. I felt like the Syndra nearly one-shot herself solo, like going for that solo bolo, you know, and didn't quite get it. But overall, it was just a game of the mid laners in this one. I felt like they both had massive damage, but the people around Jumper in this time ended up shining through more, with like the Olaf being able to just run onto their back line, and then or taking out Xandar and Slimmy at the same time, because you can't do anything. You can't do anything when an Olaf's slapping at you, you know?
Yeah, exactly that. It did feel very much into those late game fights. Every time I stopped to look what was happening to the backline, because the front line wasn't dying, it's because the front line was running just straight into the backline. Harry had to peel Zandia, had to pop the ult just for this Olaf, just for this Lee Sin that had found their way into the back. Again, the Leona with the Zenith Blaze and the Daybreaks forcing them out to start with. So overall, a great look considering game 1 here from Cowboys. A little bit blown away. I'm excited that game was so close, because it's going to make game 3 so much harder to call. The draft as well. Maybe the Olaf comes off if it's that much of a problem. Maybe you take a different jungler into it. I'm not too sure. Maybe the Poppy was an answer there, but of course Cyber had an excellent performance this game. Solo killing the LeBlanc, putting one of those 3 marks on her death there in KDA. So
yeah, I mean,
it's just so hard to tell, because there was so much in that game that any of that could have been significant at any point. Like any piece of that, if the next fight had gone a different way, if they'd smited the Elder, you know, there's so much in that game.
Well, there was also the fact that Yar respawned first. They won the fight just before Elder. They were 3 members compared to 2, and they didn't walk in and get the Elder vision. Why are you not trying to get that vision? You know that is what turns around fights. That is the pivotal thing in that game, because you were losing the fights by like such small margins that if you have an Elder, you could just one pop everyone. Like like literally the Syndra, if he just lands one combo on that LeBlanc, dead, you know? So you're talking about like if they got that vision, if they walked in and cleared that first. But no, the Leona stepped up and she was like, I'm face checking this by myself. I am a tank, I don't care. I'm going in for it anyway because Elder's that important that I need to be here. I need to get this vision in. Deny them because if they have any vision, they might know that we're not here and go for it. But you have to go in and get that vision for Elder because Elder is the most important like objective there is. You know,
Yeah.
I'd rather take an Elder than an inhib at this point because Elder is just that important. And yeah, they just as soon as they got that Elder, you knew it was game over for Yar. And overall, I'm happy that it just went back and forth so much, and it was all on these mid laners, and it's so good to see to see this.
Yeah, and of course, if you want to see any more of that, you can take a quick break because we will be as well just shortly ahead of Game 3. So, of course, after a game like that, you don't want to go anywhere. Welcome back for Game 3 of the Outlaw Cowboys as they yeehaw through the Wild West there and outrule Yar's early game by a strong mile coming out there in the late game, picking up the Elder and the Baron. And that was a tense one. We had to go for a refresh. I hope you guys did as well. I hope the teams did as well because we are now straight back in for Game 3 and the Mans are right underway.
Yeah, I mean, really surprising. They yeah, really strong in the early game this time around, but gave a few kills over, and what can I say? The LeBlanc just picked up, got the shutdown from the Syndra, and just started popping off, just hitting people each way. I will say though, the Syndra was insane. I have to give it to Milky Serial, you know, fellow caster, but really popping off on that Leona, finding the right engages, really showing up the side of Yar's engage comp because. You know, they're able to land the CC on the right members, the important people, shut down the Syndra in those later fights, and even force out Zandiel's ulti on the Xayah very early on. So then the Olaf can just run in there rent free.
Of course, we've always got to shout out a fellow support caster.
All the best,
how common they are, but
all the
best.
Casters.
All the best casters are.
All color casters are either support mains or jungle mains. Very rare you'll find any other one. Because you know it takes insane game knowledge to be a support and jungle.
Oh, of course. People that play other lanes just wouldn't really understand. That's why they play the other lanes, of course. We'll have to see what we pick up for these lanes, though. Classic LeBlanc and Caliban. I think that kind of speaks to the series.
Yeah, I suppose yeah, the ones that ban out the Xayah this time around, but they did ban out the J4 again. LeBlanc gone. I think it's the same bans as the first time around, so big surprise except from the Kali getting taken away because of how it showed up in that first game. Maybe we see Harry go back onto that Syndra we saw in the last game. It was looking pretty good.
Very concerned about this Aurelia first pick. It did not go well for them the last time into the Fiora matchup. Maybe they look at a handshake on it again. Of course, they haven't got a ban spared for it. Fiora is open and it can be picked on this first rotation. So maybe they're looking to flex it. The Lee Sin did a lot better for them before. So maybe they tried to deny it here. I don't know what Drago would want to play into it.
Please don't take demo. Please,
no.
Blind
and it's going to be locked in third game in a row.
I'm not saying it's
not favoring.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying that so far we have not seen it the combo show up very well. All right, we have not seen the massive MF Amumu combo really shine through. Okay, there was one time where it went off, and then all of a sudden a Bromar came down and destroyed it. Okay, it's not been this massive game changing thing that we have seen. I've seen in many other tournaments and many other team fighting situations. I would much rather him just take a more normal support here. And maybe even just give them the Amumu and just say, like, look, you play the Amumu combo. If you think it's strong, we'll play something to counter you. Because they just got priority on this Leona. And after last game, he played that Leona very well. And got to think, which one would you rather have at this point? Would you rather be comfortable on champion or uncomfortable? And I think Mars seems slightly uncomfortable on this Amumu so far. And I mean, we're seeing very similar picks coming out from the side of Outlaw Cowboys. They all have Leona coming through again. A different topside pick, but still pretty strong all around the board.
It's concerning here for you because those were the two picks maybe I felt and you felt were the outside of LeBlanc, obviously, who had an insane game. The two most threatening picks on that side. The Leona, of course, a great performance and did a very good job of shutting down Harry and enabling Jumba to get to that point that he was. Olaf, of course, as well, doing a great deal of pressure into that mid lane. As the late lock in here, it's going to be DMF, going to default to that one since the Xayah is off the board. As now we are into the second phase of bans. Quickly jump back to the point about comfort here. Slinny, I believe, is perhaps most comfortable on Xin Zhao. I'm not too sure if you'd consider it his main. I don't really know his profile too well, but I know the Xin Zhao, of course, Penta last split. Is very much comfortable and has probably a great affinity for the Zen style. So looking for comfort here.
Yeah, he has played a lot of the Xin in this tournament, but last time they played the Xin Zhao with the Mumu MF combo, I think there was a bit of a problem when this
Anti-combo, yeah.
because Mumu ults them, and then you want to trap them in this MF ult, right? And all of a sudden Xin Zhao ults and goes bye bye and just knocks them all out of the way, saving grace. So if we see slight problems in that communication going through with that engage, could look pretty bad for you. I'm not saying that they haven't drafted for synergy, but not looking great there, really. Would have much rather than, like, even if they left open that J4 and tried to take it themselves, maybe trying to force Outlaws into taking that first, and even then, if they have to jump onto you, and then all of a sudden the Cataclysm, you can't get, the MF can't be touched if the Cataclysm's on him, you can just press the R and just be free, you know? Just seen a lot of mid bans.
Point out that the Fiora is open, right? I know they've been pinching mid quite a bit, and you'd want to pinch Harry here, but the Fiora is open, and of course he struggled last time the Aurelia into that.
Scared of Harry.
I'd expect the Fiora here. I'll be surprised if it's anything else, if I'm honest, unless they wanted a priority on mid pick, but of course you're then handing over counter.
Yeah, I mean, a big surprise there. Tom Kench, the tank side going for the tankier build. I do like seeing a tank in the top side, finally. Aurelia into Tom Kench. I'm not too familiar with the matchup, but the way that Tom Kench is really strong is into melee matchups where they have to go really close to do the damage to him, because as soon as he gets a couple of those stacks on him, he can stun them, eat them, throw in the tower, and just then heal all the damage back up with his grey health. And then even if he has to shield. So that's a big pickup in the top side. Sars picked up as a return. Very good into that Amumu, if that is Phileas. Interesting choice.
So the Silas has some great opportunities here with the odds. The Amumu being the biggest one on this side, as you mentioned. The Aurelia might have an okay matchup into Tom, assuming if she goes towards the Vine Sandra or perhaps Borg first, which we've seen on some Aurelias. The Aphelios is a little bit curious to me. I don't think it's highest on my list of champions, but
it's very strong at the moment. But it's more the pick that is going into, right. You got the Amumu who's gonna stun you. You're gonna have to take the cleanse into that lane, otherwise you're gonna be into a lot of trouble. But you are low mobility, so you can get caught up by this Xin Zhao, this Syndra. The Tom Kench can dive on you. Maybe they should have preferred to rotate into a champion with some dashes, some dodges. Even taking the Kaisergun, I think, would have been a better choice. But you know, you are into a Mumu, Xin Zhao, Tom Kench. The Vayne from the first game could have been picked up this time round. You have the dodges, you have everything that you need, and maybe it would have been a better choice this time round.
Of course, it is looking a little bit outranged in most of that comp. So I don't necessarily hate the Aphelios. But again, it doesn't really have any innate synergy apart from just being a pretty well-versed carry.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's so tempting just to look at that team comp and go, hey, I'd love to play a Sejuani here, because all melee members there, pretty frustrating. Yeah, Aphelios can get insane range, but depending on guns, he can be also short range. It's all based on those guns, but if you look at their team comp can go forward pretty hard, and if this Olaf can be stopped pretty early on in that fight, I think their backline should be untouched for the most part, unless the Silas can steal that Amumu ult and get in the right proper position in. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go for it.
I just feel like the Silas pick is pretty good here, right? Just simply based on the Amumu, but he's gonna have hard time in the lane. You're taking an extra melee champ into this matchup, and then the Silas has to position so well to get that Amumu ult to not be sending himself, and then get the right stuns on the right members, because the Syndra MF are not going to be near the front line, and you have to dash past the front line of Yar, which is a pretty beefy front line, I might add, into the back line without being CC'd or anything like that, to get that ulti really worthwhile. It is good to note that Amumu's ult, very high AP scaling. Grenadier Amumu, probably my favorite thing in life to play, but yeah, so pretty hard comp to execute by the side of Cowboys.
Yeah, it's not too far from their comp last game. Of course, it's a little bit less forward pushing. The Aphelios unable to follow up on a lot of these fights, but of course the Silas looking to get in there like the Aurelia and Aurelia. Sorry, not the Aurelia, the LeBlanc, and of course Aurelia a little bit like Lee Sin be dipping and dodging around in this fight, but less, I guess, team fight press unless you're looking to engage with the ultimate. I'll have to see how they play this one out. I think for me, Drag is going to be the most important member, maybe alongside Milky Cereal, because of course we highlighted them quite a bit already in that last game. They're going to be looking to do very much the same again, trying to get Cereal outside of this lane and into that mid lane to try and even up this matchup, because Jumbo, to be fair, has been struggling in those lanes against Harry, but just the way the game went last time, he was able to pick up a lot of those kills, and a lot of that damage came out of him in the end. picking up some of the slack he had early. So Dragger and Milky perhaps looking to repeat that success through Jumbo in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, you go bear in mind the first game round, Milky did pretty good with the Braum Shields. Well, had some pretty good performances with the Braum Shield when the MF ulti does come down, but this time round you're relying so heavily on this ulti from the Leona to shut down that MF ulti, because who else is going to do it? The Sylas needs to dash in, the Aurelia needs to get the E range, so it's going to be pretty hard. But for the most part, I think that they've drafted pretty bad on the side of Outlaws. I'm not saying Team Yar have drafted very synergetic, but for the most part, other than the Xin Zhao, their comp works pretty well.
Yeah, it feels a bit more pick and mix. I feel like both of these drafts are maybe some of the weaker we've seen all day, but it is kind of the result of this is the last game we're going to play today. This one's for the series. I want to be on something I feel confident on, not so much as a team we feel perhaps so confident with, but as individual players, making sure that you can get the most out of you can in your laning phases in the early game. I trust Sliddy to very much do that on the Xin Zhao, so of course our eyes are going to be very much glued to these junglers as well. Pretty much the jungle matchup has been, well, yeah, I was going to say interesting, but that's a little bit bland. But the jungle matchup has very much been a part of these early games. These early games have very much been a part of how these games have developed, as well, just the game League of Legends develops at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Olaf has been has sort of fallen out of the meta a lot recently, and Xin Zhao is sort of on that edge where he's close to getting out, right? But I believe Olaf does pretty well into the Xin Zhao matchup. Obviously, the knockup from the Xin Zhao not going to be able to come through if the Olaf gets that 6th one, so it's really hard for that to go through. So if this Olaf can get some early levels, the Xin Zhao's not going to be able to stop him. And with the CC based draft from the side of Yar, if this Olaf does get that snowball ahead, I don't think he can be stopped. But he has to be in that position where he has the itemization to be able to walk through everyone. And to be honest, I don't see that happening super well.
Yeah, as we are now just about onto the Rift with the grey screens in tow. This time I have loaded in some goodness. We get some play-by-play from the get-go, because this one is probably going to be a bit of a battle. There's some goodwill there in the chat. Good luck, have fun all around. I hope you guys are having fun at home as well, as we are onto the Rift for game 3 of the day for week 4 of Valence Yar versus Cowboys here in the blue.
So Cowboys have done a level 1 strat every time round. Are we going to see this invade for the first time? It looks like they're all positioning towards mid-side, so I think Slinny's going to spot them out here. 5-man just walking into that bush. Hello.
Oh, Slinny didn't spot them, though. They spotted Slinny, as he's going to have to flash away from the start, and that is pretty massive for the early game.
Yeah, looks like he was tabbed out to change his song or something like that, but either way, he gets caught, and that's a flash gone for Xin Zhao early game. Luckily, he's a jungler, so it shouldn't make too much of an impact, but that Scuttle Crab fight at 3 minutes 30 is going to be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we get to one, though. They're going to look to use this early pressure, though, assuming that Slinny's backed. Going to get maybe some vision in. Does manage to reach the ward over the wall. Harry not really wanting to step up in front of a Sylas James to find out if he can stop that ward being placed.
Yeah, they really like that ward onto the red buff. I much prefer the ones onto the chickens, to be honest with you, because the chickens tell you if they're pathing upwards or downwards, because you'll see where they exit. With the red buff, all you know is that they started there. So I think really prioritize getting those chicken wards down early, and I think that's worked out quite well for them. But so far, they haven't been able to get a ward down, so they won't know where they're starting. If the side of Cowboys do fake leash, this will be pretty good for the Olaf.
Yeah, of course, I mentioned it before, but very much my eyes are going to be focused around these junglers early. Slinny being able to play something other than Diana. Diana typically waits till 6 to do too much, but he's had a pretty fine performance pre-6, but of course Xin Zhao is going to have a lot stronger early game, even if it is into maybe a tenuous matchup. Well, that's Stenthus getting the wrong Q target there. Looking to get one of the minions. He's going to get the Devour stacked. Already propped all the way up in a grass stock there for Zypher, I think. A bit unfortunate. That's the trouble I have with Aurelia, is making sure you Q the right target, because my mouse control is maybe not as good as it should be.
That phase rush in the mid lane is going to be so annoying for the sides to deal with, because every time you go to get a trade, Syndra can just walk you out and just auto-attack you the whole way around. So it's going to be pretty annoying there, but I've seen this dominance from this Kench coming out in the top lane. Unbenched the Kench, my dude, so...
He's quite unbenched, but he's even going for a little bit of a swimming. He's off the swimming bench, it seems. He's in the pool, and he's looking to put Aurelia's health pool into the dirt.
He's holding the mid wave.
Up some of these minions as well.
He's holding the wave in the middle. Pretty...
Oh, he's failed the dodge again. He's not even level 2. He's not going to get there. He's going to get stunned up by the Q, and there's just first blood for a time Kench.
Okay, well, I guess I just don't understand the Tom Kench in the top lane. This is the problem when you draft the melee into Tom Kench. He is a beast in that top lane, really showing up massive there.
I'd love to see it as well, because before, I think, was it last series or 2 series ago, Zypher had a bit of a trouble playing the Silas into Tom Kench. I think I even saw it casting for the Bastard Esports. They had difficulty in one of these matchups. I think it was a challenger. Tom Kench just absolutely bodied somebody on the Silas as well. So Zypher looking to repeat that success. Tom Kench, well, literally the monster catfish in the top lane, looking to crash this wave here with Slinny in tow. Might be able to find something.
Is he going to go for the dive?
No TP as well. They might be looking for the dive. They might. Surely not, you say. We'll have to see. Well, there's the blade stunned there out of Stone. It's going to connect. I don't think the wood becomes lightning. Going to get the flash out of him anyway. There's no flash from the Zinzao. Not too sure what she was flashing from. I respect either way.
I would like to thank Esports Scotland for the raid of 40 people. Pretty insane, thank you. But we're seeing an aggressive play in this mid lane.
It might just be in time to see Harry pick up a kill here onto Jumbo.
The auto attacks.
Trade is not going to go his way. The phase rush enables him to play around with that one, as you were saying earlier. Dagger not being able to find a way into that bot lane. Slinny's still here on the top side, losing time here. I think he's falling behind the goal, but they're going to get the dive instead. They're going to get the connect. The double stun there, but it's still not quite enough to smite just in case it goes in the level. I'm not too sure it had done too much, but a successful dive. I believe the kill, that went over into Zinzao. So Zinzao definitely getting his money's worth out of that one, if not his time.
Yeah, this Aurelia pick that got punished in the first game for being blind picked. Definitely getting punished again in this game. Tom Ken's really been a beast and giving that kill over to that.
Harry going to get creep blocked, but it's not going to quite stop him from getting the rest of the damage here onto Jumbo. Jumbo going to have to get away from that one. Maintains the flash. Dark Cam not really doing us too many favors.
Yeah, I would like to point out in this bot lane before it gets too late is a great adaptation from the MF here, going the press of the attack build compared to the Comet that we've seen in the previous games, being able to get a more heavy auto attack build going. Going to be a bit more interesting because I felt like they were more playing for that combo in the last games. This time she can stand alone as an actual champion.
Yeah, the insanity builds haven't been doing too well. Of course, only really successful when you get those multiple waves in, but of course the ult scales with critical anyway. Of course, crit often comes paired with attack speed, so the press attack might be able to get some value, especially if you're running down things like the Leona and the Olaf in the front side. Are going to be doing a lot more than a Comet does in that mid game, where it's going to count a lot more.
So Aurelia, she learned her lesson.
Yeah, gonna get the grasp. She's learned her lesson, maybe. Zypher losing into the wave there. Just gonna get traded and pushed back under tower, but he's still quite happy. Still quite a greedy boy with a mild grin.
Yeah, I mean, Zephyr hasn't reset yet, so he hasn't spent his gold. The minions did a lot of the damage to him then, but they're really feeling pretty happy that she can trade back. But as soon as he resets TP's back, he's probably going to go for one of those trades and regret it again. And Slinny pathing way up to this top side. We have seen this yet again. Like every game he comes up to this top side.
Not spotted on the ward, but he's just going to get the initial audacious charge straight into Sternthus there. Going to get the flash for the knockup, and the second knockup just shy here. Going to give Sternthus another blade surge. Going to get a couple more dashes in. Got one left. As the wind becomes lightning on its way. A flash Q just shot there from Zypher. Going to look for a little bit more Slinny. His flash just off cooldown as well. Sternthus looking to walk this one out. It's going to get the second cast blade surge, and it's going to buy Dragon some time to get this dragon aptly named there, I think. So, flash. 2 flashes burnt for nothing. Aurelia just about making it out there with some fancy footwork.
Yeah, well played by the Aurelia, and because of that time that she built in that top side, the Solast's able to get this Ocean Dragon uncontested in the bot side.
So puts herself into the tower with tower shots here. That's maybe a little bit too ambitious. There's going to be another blade surge here for the Aurelia and just giving back what leading ahead.
Okay, buddy. That's an interesting decision. I guess now he gets his items so he can come back to lane stronger. Maybe he just wants to give us some confidence so he can come back stronger, but...
Confidence here for Mars to go and engage on this one, knowing that the enemy bot lane's walking up. There's a bot side, 1v1 on the bottom as well. Steptoe going to be struggling with those minions. The chains here connect onto Mars, but they've already got the Olaf's down. Slinny's now in the vicinity as well. Moonwall is not yet available as he's still level 5. He's looking for the bandage toss over the wall. He's going to find it here onto Leona, and a flash out. Steptoe's going to keep him at bay. He's going to pick up Mars on the backside of that. That's hella worth for Yar, and they are going to find another one on the backside of that. That's, what, 4 for 1. Well, there's a little bit more on the top side, maybe. Delayed ace. Zypher looking to regain what he lost now that he actually has items. You see he's already built towards the Ninja Tabbies and the Ramble, not allowing Aurelia anyway into this game.
Yeah, plays. The Zin showing up massive there. Yes, Mars got the great engage off, and I thought for a second the Silas was going to be able to trade back with the Amumu ult being stolen away, but getting CC chained out of his life just so he couldn't get it off in time, but he's looking Is he gonna? Nah, what chain goes wide.
Chain's going wide. He's still looking for something here. Just a little short. Jumper going to be pushed away from here. At least Harry doesn't have any real items yet built. And no real mana yet either. Mars is in the vicinity. He might just check it out. What's going on in lane to get some of these stacks. And anyway,
Mars?
so to connect the scout of the week. I don't think there's enough mana on Harry. He's just going to make sure he's going to get a safe back.
I'll have partner up to this top side. They're going to try and make something onto this Tom Kench, but both junglers are here.
Slenny's in the vicinity as well. There's 2 1v1s it looks like going on here. So maybe because lightning Ragnarok popped here from Olaf. He's going to be spat back under the tower's stone. For Zypher going to get the slow followed up into the knockoff here. Slenny waiting his way through the minions, trying to get their edge win because lightning going to pick that one up. That's 4-0 Zinzao now, making a bully of this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Cowboys know for future, do not blind that Aurelia because there are many counters to a melee champion such as Aurelia. And it's really not showing up in their favor. Mars charged the Hextech Flash, but we're just going to get pulled away from that.
We're going to get pulled away from that one. He's just going to get in there to catch that cannon.
Look at the freeze that the Zephyr set up in the top side as well, denying even more minions to this Aurelia Kali. Oh, Jesus, English. It's a long series, boys. Long series.
Yeah, well, maybe we can take a little bit of a break for ourselves and have a little gander with our eyes down at these minions. As you say, there's a bit of a freeze happening up in top side, so Zypher coming ahead with the CS there, but looking at CS advantage in the mid and bot lane. 20 in favor of Felius, but 30 here in favor of Harry and the Syndra, making a hell of a statement about this mid lane gap.
Yeah, that's 600 gold difference in that lane. They're pretty massive for Harry.
That's what I'll quickly highlight the junglers. I won't because something else is going to happen before then. There's an unstoppable power here for Jumbo available. Going to pull that one away, and Harry going to flash away from that one. Milky Cyril doing what he does well and getting into that mid lane to create some pressure for Jumbo.
Yeah, that flash is going to be massive for the Syndra. She can't really walk up to that wave without vision. But, I mean, Zephyr, come on. Buddy, this is bullying at this point, but... So Slinny's coming up again. No.
Slinny's here again, but the director camera doesn't want to tell us what's going on. He's going to close the gap here with the audacious charge as we arrive in the play. He's going to get the knock up and the wood becomes lightning and use the crescent guard to get out of there. Zypher's now stuck. He's going to pick up that 300 gold first, but he's going to be looking to be taken down here by Dag. He's got the grey health to play around with. Mars in the vicinity.
Mars might squirt him out.
Slinny's lapping around. Jumper on the vicinity. Harry's moving maybe a little slower than the rest of them. There's a Hex Flash here and a Slow here onto drag it. Jumper's looking for something, but he might find 3 members. He's going to connect the chains. Nonetheless, Mars definitely happy to take this one. Locks him down and he's just gone. Jumper was there, but he is now just gone. There's a knock up here, but it's unstoppable. It doesn't matter if he's unstoppable because he's still killable. There's a double kill for Slinny, looking very comfortable on his Zinzao 6-0.
Yeah, you can't distort back on Silas, buddy. It's not your day today. Mars looking like he's a changed man after the last game. This Amumu Rome has been on time every time, and Slinny just massive comfort on this Zinzao, really showing through.
Just looking to get some of these minions, but as you say, Slinny definitely coming through here. But of course, as you mentioned, it's very much Mars and the team play there. Zypher coming out ahead in that lane, just really enabling that one.
A lot of damage.
A little bit of trade there on CMF, a lot of damage. As you say, enough damage to put him back in the base and give Stowe.
Oh, I don't know, you have objective timers on. Oh, my bad, guys. I sort that one out. Sorry, production value. Cloud Drake coming up in 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Of course, first Drake went in favor of Olaf in exchange for some action on the top side. They're going to get some plates in the meantime, but that probably means they're not going to be reset in time for this Drake. Maybe I'll overextend Milky Cyril here looking for some vision. He's going to find Slinny, and that's definitely not who you want to be fighting at the moment. That's Flashbird from the Leona. That could be important for the fight to come. Slinny flashing on the spot. I don't think that's quite what he wants. He's able to get the knockup of Mars. Looking to give Milky Cyril a way out, but he's got 2 badger tosses available and the up to connect. So yeah, there's no real engage now available for the side of Cowboys coming into this fight for the Drake. And the ward that's a little further into the pit than before.
Yeah, it's just stopping those vision. That was at the back of the bush, but yeah, great play by there. To be honest, I don't know if I would personally take this Drake. Yeah, just I know it's nice to have the scaling, but there's a chance of it either being a mountain or an infernal. So if you can get 4 of those stacked up, pretty incredible. So maybe I would have preferred just to leave that, but either way, I mean, yeah, you have a chance of 3 of those Drakes, and now it's infernal. So 3 infernal Drakes, whichever team gets that is a lot of damage that will be added onto your comp. And oh yeah, Slinny looking unstoppable on this Zinzao as well.
Yeah, Slinny definitely showing up very well in this game. had some pretty decent performances on Diana, had some great early games as well, but he's had an exceptional one so far. As I stutter a little bit here in my frames, make sure I'm caught up because there's a play about to happen. Slinny's already in, so the Mammoth falls just a little shallow of the stun here, and we flashed away from Milky Zero. Of course, he has no real escape, he has no Leona yet available as well. Got to keep our eyes on the FLS. He can turn things around there. A lot of years into that champion, it looks like he might be trying to do it with a double flash just to make sure he does it. Yard do not want to see that possibly come to fruition. Double kill here for Zandia, even though he with the ultimate is looking quite happy. Not looking happy is Stonethus. He's going to get devoured and put into the belly of Zypher, and he wants another one. He's looking greedy. There's more stacks here on Stonethus. He's going to dodge away from the minions by keep on going forward.
God,
there's a second grass proc and a second tongue, and he's just devouring here on Stonethus.
I feel like this is just abuse in this top lane, but yeah, MF ult just being used slightly early, but it doesn't matter in this bot lane because Slinny's here just. I mean, is he gonna?
He's going to get locked onto this tower, maybe longer than he'd like. Going to have to flash away from the unleashed power. Going to get some, well, his first bit of action really we've seen in that mid lane, apart from a couple of flashes being burnt.
But
there was just another flash being burnt.
But look at the CS advantage in the side of Harry. 40 CS. I'm sure that I'll tell you how much gold there is. There's about 1k gold lead. Slinny pushing him off of this as well.
Slinny with 2k advantage here. So just going to turn straight here onto Olaf. I'm not sure who secured that Herald. I assume it must have been Olaf if they're not going to look to pick it up yet. So Olaf does deny Slinny the Herald. Mars looking a little bit worse for wear. He's surrounded by blue, not just the river, but blue health members. He's going to look to turn instead of the members now arriving. Harry on the wrong side of the wall there. Where is Zypher going to get caught up in this one as well? Mars going to be using the ult.
Slinny's down.
Looking a little bit better as well. Harry now on the right side of the wall is looking to turn this 2v3. They've not really got enough, I think, in the tank to play this one out. Zypher, it's a weird one. It's slow. It's being played out, but God, that was odd. I don't think they got the Herald. Okay, no, yeah. Stonethus was able to pick up the Herald, and in total, I think it was a jungler and support in exchange for Dagger there.
Yeah, but so the big thing is
trade in favor of Cowboys.
The Xin Zhao going down, massive shutdown gold being thrown over, and yeah, that's I think he was worth 700, so that's 1k given over, and has a pretty massive turnaround and the loss of Drake.
Well, Jumper finding a good trade here onto Harry on the back end of that TP. Harry a little bit slow to into the scout of the week, but it's here. And now Mars is in the vicinity as well. Use the unleashed power, trying to get the minions to do the work. Mars might be able to connect the ladder. Just connects one. He has the second one into, but Jumper's made enough distance that it's going to get out all right. So Harry failing the execution on that one. Jumper getting the better of him, but there's Zypher here in the vicinity as well of my handout camera.
He's going to dive. I mean, he's pretty low.
Olaf first. Going to contest him for that blue buff. Mars going to put the wave under the tower as well. Zandia now rotating up from that bot lane. That tower was taken in favor of the Felix. There's a bandage toss here straight onto jump into the tower. Going to lock him up. But Milky Cereal's in the vicinity as well. Mars was taking out that tower. So Zandia not really under too much threat, especially if those chains don't connect. Zypher putting, getting the unstoppable here out of the Ragnarok. I keep calling him Ragnarok. That's not his name. No. He's going to be Poppy the Ragnarok. That is the name of his ultimate, all the same. So there's a lot of tools here burnt by Outlaw Cowboys. The Slinny's now in the vicinity as well. 7-1. Look to get this one out. But they are still fighting over the tower. Zandia got the focus here on that one. You're going to get a trade back here onto Mars. We take those so far. Look for the second tower. In the far side has the TP available. This I think should extend. Jungler going to use the MF ult. Quite well placed and timed actually to clear the rest of that minion wave.
Yeah, I mean, the Leona with a great ult to be able to set up two members to be able to secure the Amumu ult trade back for his death, but you have 3 kills on this Leona. You never want to see a support with all the kills unless she's playing something that can do the damage. And I'm sorry, but this isn't a full AP Leona. This isn't what you'd find in a low elo Saluki game. This is tank Leona, and becoming even more tanky at this point isn't really that massive a thing. So yeah, we'll see how this game goes on. But so far, it looks like Cowboys are just slowly losing out on objectives. And yes, that at times they've traded 1 for 1, but the objective is still going down in the favor of Yart.
Yeah, it still feels like a bit of a gap in these solo lanes that are pulling out ahead. Slinny, of course, being the main benefactor of the solo lanes, finding a lot of time and kills here from Stonethus, having a lot of free priority from the shove that Harry's had into Jump. But of course, that might yield themselves the second dragon. So they've all reset and they're looking to get their way into this river before it's maybe too late. Seems the Cowboys are on the same track, but they're the ones face checking this side. This time, Stonethus getting a couple of connections here, but it's not really what we want to be looking at.
Well, they no TP.
The cameras have pulled us back here.
Riley has to reset. She has no TP. She has to just walk straight to this Drake beforehand. Zephyr can push in this wave, even take the tower beforehand if DR don't commit.
So they don't have more members, but they have lost priority in the bot lane. But the fight looks to be starting. And Mars with a great connection there, going to push the ult here out of Olaf is going to get locked up, and Smitty here into backside as well. The MF are going to force all the flashes. There's no enough members there for Cowboys to pull out too much of a fight, so it's a value trade here. Support for support.
Yeah, I feel like Zandia's ult came down just slightly too late there. Really could have used it, because we knew that everyone was collapsing on him, but the Leona was taken down. Maybe just use it straight away, push him off faster. You could have got a couple more procs off before they flashed, but either way, well secured by Yar. He really has to go back to this top side, and I mean, was Zephyr even needed to TP in the end? He didn't really get much with it, and now
he's going to flash to try and get something here. Does get the flash out of the Aphelios. Does connect the snow.
Herald summon top side.
Herald summon top side. Oh my god. English, eh? Is going to find half the health here onto this top tower. Irelia are going to be quite happy with that one, even though they lose the Drake. They'll be happy to have some, at least Global Bold. They're not going to go bold, I promise. I'm not going to cast that one. Oh, I did it again. But anyway.
It's okay, it's okay.
Save me. I need a sip.
Yeah, well, that was, I mean, yes, they really couldn't impact that fight, but at least she was able to go to topside, use that Herald. That's the Herald that they secured earlier. They did come up pretty well of that trade, and well, at least they knew that the fight they had earlier actually netted some gold in the favour of the Irelia. Still not equalising that gold on that top side, but so far this Tom Ketch hasn't been able to take down that tower on the top side. I believe he hasn't actually reset in a while. Yeah, he's sitting on 3k gold, 3.4k gold. Not resetting yet, so he's gonna walk back to lane, and yeah, okay, thank God no, please don't push that wave, because if that Aurelia's got bulk and you have not got items yet, please. Okay, you may feel confident, but looking at the items, well, actually you got 3 levels.
3 level advantage, so yeah, it might not be too despairing. I think Aurelia doesn't think she wants it either. Gonna get a little bit of an auto attack, gonna get a tower.
Slinny's coming up here.
Slowly's coming up here. The story of this game so far has been exactly that, but Aurelia has got herself fully stacked, and this wave is just about gone, so they're going to be deterred from taking that one. It's like Aurelia knows better than to be walking up at this point with no vision.
On the bright side for Cowboys, their win condition isn't this Aurelia at all. It is this Aphelios, and so far, I mean, yes, the MF's got these kills, but the Aphelios has outfarmed them and started off with gold. It took him 40 CS lead. What's the gold difference? Yeah, 900 gold in the favour of the Aphelios, even though it has 3 less kills and 2 more deaths, you know. That is pretty massive, and everyone knows that the meme about Aphelios, 200 years, but he can really just impact so much in these team fights if he gets the right protection and lasts long. And so far, I mean, look at his items. They're going to give him so much survivability. I personally don't like the Collector, but otherwise, pretty good.
Yeah, he's working to make himself quite a bit of gold between the Cull and the Collector combined. I suspect he might have tried for the additional 20 on kills as well, helping him reach that maybe near a K gold advantage. We'll have to see what he can do in these fights, because so far he's been pretty detached from these fights. He's had a couple bit of a skirmish, of course, he's been killed twice and got a goal assist, so he's been involved, and it looks like he might be involved with the bandage toss, just shy of that. Smiles, but he creates some pressure. Harry making sure he gets priority on these cannons. Gonna be caught here on a ward. Milky looking for something here. Gonna have to flash away from Sternathus on the other side. Now, it's a great pincer there, getting the flash here out of Harry again.
I think you could have left it just a little bit longer with that flash. I don't think Aurelia was in actual range to get the second E going, but nice respect there shining through, but maybe not necessary. But Silas may be caught out here on the bot side.
Salas might be looking to burn his flash as well. Great step back there, just to dodge away from the CC. Not going to get connecting with the scout of the week, but he's going to land the unleashed power. Going to get sucked up as well into the gulp of Zypher. He connects that initial CC, but there are other members here to play first. The rest of you are
so
not
tanky
really in the range, but he's so tanky, and the great scout of the week, he's not able to stop the passage. Now the members here from are going to get a great bullet.
Oh, lovely ult.
3 are going to separate them here and push them back here into the waiting arms and the waiting jaws, as Zypher is going to lick up all of those. A double kill here for Harry. He's going to be very unleashed after that one.
Things at Baron.
Looked a little shaky, but it comes out, thinking the Baron, it still shows there's a Herald on my map for me, Lamau. Small indie company, but we'll take it. It's been running smooth so far. I don't want to jinx it.
Looks like they're just going to get this bot tower here. But yeah, insanely well played by Zephyr and Harry to be able to get that fight going, and the CC lockup by Harry being able to buy time for Zephyr to be able to get that dash out. Great ult by Zandia to separate their team from the people coming from behind them, but Leonel just going slightly shy to stop the MF ult. Otherwise, it would have stopped there earlier. But I think Zandia self-cancelled it as well after that, thinking that the MF ult, the Leonel ult had hit her. So slight bit of mental gaming there, but either way, I mean, Yar coming out massively. I mean, it's 7-21, and maybe we can get 3 more kills on the side of Yar. We can say 24/7, but yeah.
Well, they haven't been winning 24/7 as they did drop the second game, and of course that one was close. This one looking nowhere near as close with an actual substantial gold lead this time at 6k at just 22 minutes. Looking much more like the first. Looking to repeat that victory as well is Yar. After quite a winning skirmish, if you look across the board, though, they are worth quite a lot of shutdowns. So you'll have to think that is weighing on the minds of the Cowboys as it comes in here for the third dragon, freshly spawned Infernal.
Ooh, no.
I was looking to douse their dreams, using the vision there appropriately, keeping their control ward alive. Sweeper's here going to give away who's on the other side of the wall. Slingy making sure that he's not on vision either. Harry going to connect. Or there's a bandage toss and a flash here straight onto the Ophelis. That's their win condition. As you mentioned, he's going to flash away, but he's still alive. Milky Cereal looking to do the same in the back line. The Olaf's just going to absolutely melt through this front line. Zypher's now arriving as well. And there's a bullet time that's just going to absolutely melt through the front. And what's left of the Cowboys, the scout of the week, is going to pick up the Ophelis on the backside as well. And the unstoppable force for good measure. Why not? Harry takes that one as well. There's a fight there for Yar, and they're happy with that. They might even go straight to the Barret. They've got some pings coming down. I'm not sure what they want. They can do, says
yeah, they should do.
I think they can as well. It might look to take for both. They're a little bit indecisive. They could have been a little bit more snappy on that one, but they're going to get it probably all the same. No jungler available. Aurelia was not in that fight. She might be looking to make up for it here. I don't think she can pull off too much. Looking for the hero play. I don't know if they're that desperate yet, but that gold lead could stretch very far if she doesn't. Doesn't look like she wants to try for it. It doesn't look like Jumbo is going to make it there either. So that's a Baron on the back of that fight there for you.
Yeah, I mean, just off the back of that massive team fight, and the TPing back down to this Drake, they didn't even take it in the end, so...
I was about to take a swig, but I don't have the time, as Zypher's looking to take a little bit of a meal out of Jumbo here. Mars in the vicinity as well. As you say, the TPs came down here. Zypher's going to be walking down into the river as well. Jumbo going to be victim of dessert for the Baron there.
And it's all Yar. It's all Yar.
It's all Yar, and the Drake is the cherry on top for the cake that they have been brewing currently all game long. Looks like Dragus gonna try to make something happen, but Zypher's gonna just have. I love that, using the passage there to make sure that there is no blast code and no opportunity for Dragon to get in here. He's gonna have to commit the flash if he wants it. It's not the sole point, they don't have to. They might be looking to storm some of the Barons. Gonna try the undertow instead and just get away from that one. Stefan Stoke looking to get something in trade in the mid tower.
Oh, yes, it's too far.
He's put too close to the wall. They might be able to make something happen here. Gonna use the locket. That's not quite as Shirelli as I think Mars thought that one was. He's still looking for something here. Zypher might be able to close the gap with the passage again. Slinny's got the wind become lightning as well. There's a lot of opportunity here. He's going to flash, connect to the upper passage, going to force him further up. He's going to connect the snow, but of course there's a Alaskan there. Mokasiri going to deter this one. And of course they're buying time. There's time they're losing for Baron though. As long as they pick up a kill and maybe a tower or something on the backside. There's Mokasiri. Stepper's second to last tower of defense. So the tower here is going to come in. He's going to get the massive damage, but it doesn't matter. The tower is not going to be long too much longer. He's going to put a lot of damage into Zypher, but Zypher doesn't care. He has a lot of health. He's going to devour up his friend to make sure he stays alive, but there's 5 members up here, so they're losing time on Baron, but they do get 2 kills in a tower also.
Yeah, I mean, that's complete and utter, like, disrespect there from the first. Yeah, we just go into the tower, but that's a Tom Kench, you know, and he can literally just sit in that tower all day long. He does not care. And yeah, Slinny tanks it, but, you know, the Ophelis is there going, guys, I'm trying to kill him, but he can't, and he's finally been, he's only just opted into this Lord Dominic's. Maybe if he'd taken that instead of the Collector early on, which is my preferred tool, would have been more damage here, because Lord Doms, especially into the team comp of VR, would have been more preferred. You know, you're talking the Amumu who's got armor, like a lot of armor already.
Double Bramble, double tabbies, or triple tabbies, sorry.
Yeah, like, why did you go into the Collector? Getting the kills is not important at this point, because, you know, you're the ADC, you should have more damage. Getting that 5 gold's not worth it, and the execute of 5% HP. What's 5% HP?
Be a 5% fee, yeah. When you could be doing, was it 30% reduced armor? I'm sure that will go much further. But now that he has it, we'll have to see what he can do with it. Maybe it's too late. As the next tower goes, thanks to the Baron buff minions. As the rest of the members here, Harry's in the vicinity. Mars with the Hextech is going to get his ult just shy of all the members that he wants. He's going to force the fight though. And here's Yar looking for the final stretch of the unbreakable force. And then, oh my god, that ult is huge. He really is unable to do enough. Slindy's in the back line. He's still got the GA as well. All of the members are just melting. They don't have enough health bars to do anything about it. All of that AoE was just enough. It was too messy for me to even cast, but just in that small space of time, there's a triple kill for Slinny and no health bars left remaining for Cowboys. It looks like it's going to be a victory. They're just walking here. The Baron buff runs out, but they got the 2 minions under the tower. They got the GA to tank it up. They got Zypher to tank it up as well. They have no issue ending this one, and it's paused before we get to see the Nexus. Maybe it's me, but I assume it's just because...
No, it's the pause bug. It's the pause bug. anytime there's a pause, it closes like however long the pause was before the. Well, it's like a little second before the end. It's a bug that happens. It's frustrating. Anyway, yeah,
Anyway,
well
yeah,
done.
I'll take the series 2-1 after what was quite a tense game two, an excellent game one, and a bit of a I say a bit of a back and forth. It was pretty clean of a game three, but a Yard victory all the same. So we take those commiserations to Cowboys, who put up a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I mean, they were looking pretty good in that second game, but this game just felt like they fell apart a bit. I think Jumper just got put onto a champion that he wasn't comfortable on. The size didn't really seem to go well, especially when you're talking range into melee. Putting Harry back on that Sindra that you had trouble laning against as the LeBlanc the last time around. This time you don't have the massive shutdown to collect, so you didn't feel so good on that side. But for the most part, I mean, that Aurelia blind pick sort of was the writing on the wall, you know. Zephyr and Selene just really abusing that top lane over and over, and just I mean, I feel the Aurelia. I don't know how you recover mentally after being a tent being put up in your lane that hard early on.
2 games in a row as well, right? We mentioned the first game that they really had a rough time into the Fury, and I think Selene had at least something to do with it. Maybe not as much as he did this game for sure. I think maybe a point to talk about as well is Mars or Jamie BBK's turnaround. From game two, you were a bit critical. You were worried about the Amumu pick when you saw it in the draft, but sure, he had a lot of deaths, but he was dying very much for his team, carrying the 7 out of 9 deaths his team had, making sure the rest of his team was staying very much afloat and Selene to carry away with. Of course, Mars did a lot of work to make sure that his team could pick up those kills.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I gotta say, like this time around, Mars when he did go in, when he did die, he died for a team fight, and every time those seven deaths, I'm pretty sure, were like, you know, he traded every death for at least like 2-3 members of Cowboys, and it worked out very well for them. I will say I gotta thank Zandia for taking away from the lethality, but I feel like it wasn't working for his playstyle. I felt like he didn't have the aggressive nature that he likes to lane with, because he's so used to playing with these auto attack heavy champions. So switching up to the press attack MF, building the Kraken Slayer and all the rest, I felt like he was more comfortable. He was able to time his ultis for the most part better. There was 1 or 2 early game that were a bit off, but when it got to the late game, his ultis were on point, and he really got those massive spread in the team fights. And I feel like it was also just the fact that they didn't really get contested by the Olaf this time around, jumping into that backline. But for the most part, bouncing back in that bot lane it is very good to see, especially at this level, because you know we're a couple weeks off playoffs yet, but you know that's going to be an intense. I think is that best of fives, but either way, you know.
Playoffs will be best of fives. I believe there are 6 or 7 opponents to go through now that Chonk joined the league as well. So the one team that we wouldn't have to have faced, we lost against. So currently we are undefeated against the intended opponents after the split. And like you say, it's a good look from this bot lane to be able to recover this late into a series after game 2 went so long. And this one was starting to get into the later game at 27-27. It's a good look to have.
Yeah, I mean, and like their jungler just showing up massive in this game. I mean, yeah, he set up a tent in the top lane, but Zephyr was winning that lane anyway, and he just went up there and secured as many kills as he could, sharing the free gold pretty much, and contesting the Olaf, going up there to try and, you know, redeem him, the Aurelia. But suddenly picking up as many of those kills and then translating it into massive pressure across the board. Like you start looking at his KDA, 13-1-9. How many kills are there? 31. He's, you know, pretty high on the KP. I think it's about 70% off the top of my head, maybe 60. But either way, you know, that's quite a massive amount in this game, especially considering the fact that the top laner was solo killing people for pretty early on. We'll take a look at the damage here just to expose what really happened. Oh yeah, tank top laner does a lot of damage. That's so hard to watch. Yeah, as you can see, Aphelios was the point. Was the power point of Cowboys, but they just never really. I felt like they just didn't really play for it. I mean, the Silas in the late game was taking those Amumu ults and using them in the backline instead of using it as a defensive tool for this Aphelios. The Aphelios for a long time was about 900 1k up on the MF.
God,
For quite a while, even though the MF had a lot of kills, but he was never able to get that damage off in the team fight because he was always getting dove, and he had no good peel on his team because the ultis were being
used. Front
used.
line had been behind, and of course there were a lot of tours. I remember that one fight behind Baron. I can't remember who it was that gets caught, but Mars is able to extend that play and catch the Aphelios. He flashes and he tries to turn around a lot of that damage. You can see he's definitely doing damage, but there's just so much gap close between Zypher with the passage and the wind becomes lightning. Even if he did escape and get to turn around some of that fight, there's still plenty enough to catch him out.
Yeah, I mean, normally we wouldn't see stuff like this, right? But so far, I mean, it's been like I'm quite avidly against this. I'm a MF bot lane for Team ER because of the way it's been looking. But this game, they really showed the power of it. Yes, that they were behind in lane, but because of the way the rest of the team played, when they got to that mid game, the MF was able to pick up the kills, get the goal back into them, and be able to continue this on. Maybe there's a slight thing that they could have changed. Maybe swap out that Lord Doms for the slow armor pen. Probably my preferred choice because obviously then the ulti constantly slows them, locks them in that for longer. But otherwise, I think that it's improved a lot, and I think the itemization coming out from AI is slowly improving more and more over the weeks that we're playing. I don't know if it's because I'm lecturing them on it all the time in these things because I'm a massive you need to build correctly to win games sort of a guy, or if it's just the help of their coach. But either way, it's looking pretty good going forward, and for the most part, I mean, this game really showed that they could bounce back from a bad loss because they were ahead early game, lost late game, and now they just destroyed from early game and took it all the way through.
Yeah, and further that as well, right? The first 2 weeks of the split, they weren't playing with their intended roster, had some good looks, and then of course when you come back to the main roster last week, they struggled against Chunk. They didn't get the games they're looking for. Yes, they went to a game 3, but it didn't feel maybe as close as this one. So perhaps with the practice between last week and this week as well, they look a lot more on color. Perhaps maybe a little more practice in that bot lane with the Amumu combo, you're thinking. But still a very good look to see Slinny back in form, to see Harry back in form as well. I think he was quite unhappy with his performance. But of course, I think everyone on the team here can be overall happy with their performance today.
Yeah, I mean, Zephyr, I didn't like the young pick in game 2. I think it was a bit of a disappointment, but on the Tom Kent's really showing up massive in that top lane, really pressuring off that Aurelia. Yes, in the first game he was able to do a lot against the Aurelia, but this time round he completely bodied the Aurelia, completely out of the game. 3 level gap, I think, at like the 10 minutes. I mean, yeah, absolute monster in that top lane, and like even Harry in that mid lane, farm difference, crazy that the opting into the phase rush was pretty big. I have asked if we're going to get an interview or not, but I don't think we will.
I haven't heard of one.
I have asked if Team Yara in chat, anyone feel like it? We can add you in if you feel like, but
in the meantime, perhaps we can talk about the standings for the split. For those more intrigued, Yarn now sit top of the table, 3-1. I think that's confirmed. Yeah, so yeah, that's updated. 3-1. Chonk and Hentai Haven are in tow along with Garlic Bread. So Outlaw sat at 1 and 2. So I'm curious to see the coming up matches against the other team sat at 2 and 1. I assume they've got their games to win as well. So maybe one of those can tie with us for 3 in the coming weeks and see how those matches go. Because if it's been close with Chonk, who are also close to the top of the table, I think maybe they had a bye last week, so they've only got 2 games here, so they'll be playing their 3rd this week. So yeah, stick around in the weeks to come. If you know we got an interview, I'll hold, but otherwise I'll close.
Yeah, I don't think we do have an interview, so I think we might as well just pull it to an end if you feel like. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, I'll give you an opportunity for final words for this week then.
Yeah, great game from the Cowboys game too. I think some work in drafting needs to come. I've been called bias caster, but you've got to draft properly to win games in this elo, and that's what you need to do. And if you have any problems, contact me in DMs. I'm more than happy to explain. But for the most part, well done, Team YA. You played really well. You were able to execute your comps to a very high standard, except for in that second game where you got caught out once or twice and gave up these shutdowns. But for the most part, really great to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes in the future.
Yeah, very much so. Looking forward to see how y'all do in the future. And I think I'm a little bit of a fan of the Outlaw Cowboys after game 2. I really enjoyed that one. Condolences for this series, but I'm glad you guys put up a good fight. All the same, it was very entertaining to watch, and I'll keep my eye on you for how you guys go into future. Maybe we get to see you in playoffs. For the rest of you, though, thank you for joining us, and of course, thank you to HyperX for giving us the mics to bring this quality content to you. And you can get more of that same time, maybe same place next week. I'm not sure. It'll be on this one or the community channel. Maybe we can do better to highlight in advance which one we're on. But for this week, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.